as well, keep United's season busy, because if they failed to win today, with no European football, no Carabao Cup already, it will be the fewest games they've had in a season since 1905. So as the referee blows his whistle and gets the action underway, that is something that just does not bear thinking about. United, in their traditional red shirts, white shorts and black socks, will attack from left to right towards the old scoreboard end at Old Trafford in this first 45 minutes. 3 changes made by Darren Fletcher for this one this afternoon. Casemiro and Luke Shaw make way, as does Aidan Heaven, with Kobbie Mainoo, Mason Mount and Lenny Yoro coming into the side. So it's Lommans in goal, all in grey stroke black, away to our left hand side just in front of the Stretford end. A back 4 from right to left of Diogo Dalot, Lenny Yoro, Lisandro Martinez and Patrick Dorgu on the left hand side, who is on the ball at present. Ugarte and Mainoo, the 2 men in central midfield, and then up ahead of them Mason Mount on the right, Matheus Cunha on the left, and Bruno Fernandes back in his number 10 role just behind Benjamin Sesko up front. Sesko scored twice at Burnley on Wednesday night, of course, doubling his tally for the season so far. And with Bruno Fernandes now no longer shackled in central midfield and allowed to play a bit further forward, we'll be looking for some decent link-up between them two this afternoon. As for Brighton, they've made 6 changes. Jason Steele comes in goal for them. Joel Veltman, Diego Coppola, Olivia Boscagli and Ferdi Kadigoglu make up their back 4. Diego Gomez and Jack Hinselwood sit in midfield with Pascal Gross. Then you've got Rutter on one side, Gruder on the other, and the former United man Danny Welbeck leading the line up front, who of course had such a bright start to his career as a academy kid here at Old Trafford, won the League Cup.
Oh, he's in.
Opportunity early on for Dalot. He's into the penalty area. Keeper comes out. Can't beat him with the right foot finish. Saved with the legs by Jason Steele. One ball released Dalot, who was into the area. 1-on-1 with the keeper. Couldn't finish. Good save in the end by the legs of Jason Steele. United trying to keep the pressure on with Dorgu on the left. Into Mount. Low ball from him. Pulled back towards Matheus Cunha. And Brighton managed to get it away.
Should score, Bill, shouldn't he? It's a great opportunity for Manchester United here in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, on the front foot, right from the off though. Dalot again, this time off balance. His right foot shot from the edge of the penalty area goes over the crossbar. Maybe just a tug on his shirt as he was about to pull the trigger there. But, I mean, that's Manchester United's right back, who has been into the penalty area 1-on-1. Lovely through ball by Bruno Fernandes, by Cunha, I think it was actually, to put him through. Good save by the legs with Steele, and then the second one, a shot from the edge of the area.
Well, you can't give someone like Matheus Cunha that much time and space in the middle of the pitch like Brighton players did. They were far too passive, and they were all ball watching, the back 4 in particular, and he's just played a lovely ball over the top. Dallow's got in behind, and he's got a 1-on-1 situation with the goalkeeper. He should score. Yeah,
you are right. Diogo Dalot had enough time there, I think, to pick his spot, and probably should have beaten Jason Steele and given United the early lead. 3 minutes gone at Old Trafford. You're listening to BBC Radio Manchester. This commentary game on 95.1 FM, digital radio and online on BBC Sounds. Another mistake. Sesko racing through. Steele off his line quick enough to get it away again. Well, this is Manchester United's first home game here at Old Trafford since the sacking of Ruben Amorim. Safe to say there's probably been more excitement in this first 3.5 minutes than there has been in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's been a good start for Manchester United. They've had a couple of opportunities straight away. You can see they're on the front foot. I said before the game about being exciting, and if the first 3 minutes have got anything to go by, it's going to be one of those exciting afternoons, because we've had a few good opportunities straight away.
Yeah, positive start, and Manchester United, I mean, it was a long ball through the middle by Cunha trying to pick out Dalot, but it was just positive play, wasn't it, Alex? That's the key. They're looking to go forward.
Yeah, it's what you want to see your football players do. Pass the ball forwards, run forwards, play in the opposition's half. Certainly what Manchester United teams in the past have always done.
So a bright start from the Reds at Old Trafford. Here's Dalot on the right again, galloping forward down the right-hand side, cuts in field, just gets closed down as he tries to switch the play to the left-hand side, but the ball does eventually reach Dorgu, who plays a neat 1-2 with Cunha, and then he's upended as he goes for the return. Free kick to Manchester United.
Another opportunity to put the ball in the box. United have got a free kick wide on the left, halfway inside Brighton's half. It's good play from Dorgu. He tries to get the 1-2. plays it inside to Cunha, and he gets taken out by Gruder. Did he get booked there, Bill? Was it a booking?
Didn't see the yellow card from referee Simon Hooper.
He's done well to get away with it then, because I've seen people get booked for a lot worse than that, I should say.
Kobbie Mainoo went over to take that free kick, and Bruno Fernandes, the Manchester United captain, has just reminded him, pulled rank slightly and said, no, you go over there, I'm taking it. So it will be Fernandes to deliver. Everyone in red inside the Brighton half. Dorgu is just hanging back a little bit in case there is any swift counter from Brighton, but United have everybody up and around the penalty area, and an opportunity here from the delivery of Fernandes. Plays it low and short into the feet of Dorgu, who's caught, and that'll be another free kick to Manchester United. And rugby style, they've just advanced a few yards, improved the angle, and they've got another set piece in a better position.
That's exactly what it was rugby style. They've moved the ball inside, he's played it into Dorgu, who's been fouled again, so now they've got a central free kick. I think it's just a little bit too far out for Bruno to have a shot, but we'll have to wait and see what he does.
Well, the wall's just outside the 18-yard box, so we're probably saying this is about 29, maybe 30 yards from goal. It is a long way out, just left of the D, suits the right footer, and Bruno Fernandes is stood over it, but he plays it short, gets it back, goes for goal, right-footed, and it's a brilliant save down to his left-hand side by Steele. Otherwise, United were 1-0 up.
Clever free kick from Bruno. We spoke about it being a bit far out. He's moved it 5 yards further, closer towards goal. He's played a little 1-2 with Kobbie Mainoo, who's set him on the edge of the box, and he tries to bend it into the bottom right-hand corner. It's a good save from Luke Steele, corner to Manchester United.
Such clever play between Bruno and Kobbie Mainoo. Got the return, hit it first time, and Steele down to his left makes a good save. Corner kick now to be delivered to the back post. Everyone's up. Is it in? No, it's just wide of the target. The referee is pointing for a goal kick. I think there was a foul in there anyway, but Lenny Yoro it was who made contact with the ball. Unfortunately for United, it was just wide of the stick.
It's a lovely floated delivery to the back post. It just dies, it creates chaos in that back post area, and you have to say Yoro's got a great opportunity there if he goes and wins it. And he's a little bit more aggressive. He's got an open goal to head it into, because Luke Steele got took out a little bit there.
He almost headed
Jason Steele, I should say.
Yeah, he almost headed it against the back of the defender, I think. If he'd got that on target, I think it was in. Anyway, United need to do some defending at the other end. Here come Brighton pouring forward. They're into the area, and it's put behind for a corner by Patrick Dorgu. Suddenly, United just switched off slightly, and Gomez was into the area there with an opportunity to pull the trigger, right-footed. Dorgu did just enough to get a touch on it, knock it away to safety. What are United doing? Martinez out of position again. It's just threaded through behind him. Gomez was in to the area on the right-hand side.
Poor defending from Martinez. He gets dragged out of an area and leaves a big gap in his back four, which Brighton have looked to exploit. They played it into. It was a good job. Dorgu was on his toes and covered well and poked out for a corner.
Back after a long spell out through injury, of course, Lisandro Martinez still trying to find his way back to form, perhaps. Here comes the in-swinging corner from Brighton into the penalty area. It's not cleared, falls in the box. Hinchelwood has a swing at it, blocked by United. Only away as far as the edge of the penalty area, though. Brighton still retain the possession. Out to their right-hand side they go. Matoma on the edge of the penalty area, trying to play a little bit of give and go. Kadioglu rather. Here's Hinchelwood. So Brighton in possession, 0-0 the score. They're being forced back inside their own half. In fact, they're going to go all the way back to their goalkeeper. Steele, all in yellow, just outside his penalty area. So an opportunity for Boskagli to reset at the heart of the Brighton central defence. And they just want to get a little spell of possession here, Brighton. You can see, to take the sting out of the game after that early onslaught from Manchester United. And I was about to say they were doing it well, but that would have been the curse of the commentator, because they've immediately put a ball out into touch, and United can restart from a throw-in just in front of the dugouts, where the two head coaches, Darren Fletcher, the Manchester United caretaker, is down there, all in black, hands in pockets, in a... It's not quite a three-quarter length coat, is it? It's just beyond the waistline. Black coat. Fabian Hersler, the Brighton boss, has gone for the tracksuit with trainers and big coat over the top. Brighton have a throw-in on this left-hand side, which on their left-hand side rather, which Kadioglu will take into the feet of Rutter, who's past his man. Thought he'd got away, but it's gone behind for a Manchester United goal kick. Good defending that time by Martinez.
It's a great touch from Rutter off the throw, and he chops it to his left-hand side and takes it round Ugarte, I think it was, wasn't it, who managed to get back there and make a great challenge, to be fair, because it looked like he was about to get into United's area. Good challenge from Ugarte, who managed to play it off the Brighton player and win his side a goal kick as well.
Long one forward. Sesko is offside, so that will be a Brighton free kick inside their own half as we pass the 10-minute mark. There is standing applause inside Old Trafford. How do you think the game has begun here as we see a very pensive looking Darren Fletcher on the touchline, Alex?
I think you summed it up perfectly, Bill. Before, I think United started the game really well, and Brighton have just looked to take the sting out of it. They've certainly came into the game now. They've found the foot in it, Brighton. They're passing the ball around a little bit. And United have just stepped off the pace a little bit, so they need to get back on it.
Yeah, Brighton are a possession-based side, as so many are now. The changing face of football that we discussed in the build-up on Total Sport. 0-0 the score. Brighton with the ball on the halfway line. Out it comes to Kadioglu in space on the left again, and this time he's got defenders backtracking. He's up to the edge of the penalty area, slides it through to Welbeck. Good turn from him, cross into the area, surely a goal. The header is saved, but the second effort is converted left-footed inside the penalty area by Gruder. 12 minutes gone at Old Trafford, and Brighton have the lead. Brilliant work in the build-up by Danny Welbeck. Put across into the area, headed goalwards, stopped on the line by United, but Gruder with the second effort converts. Manchester United 0, Brighton 1.
It's a great goal. It's a really great goal from Brighton. It was a lovely ball played out to the left wing, which started the move. I'm just trying to see who it is. Is it Gross who plays it out there to Kadioglu, who finds a lovely pass inside the Manchester United 18-yard box. It's a great bit of skill from Danny Welbeck. He chops it one way, takes it the other, and he dinks a lovely little ball to the back post.
Yeah, Rutter's header saved on the line by Martinez, but nothing that they could do after that. So Rutter's header cleared away by Martinez, falls to the feet of Gruder, who first time left-footed just smashes it back into the net.
We said Brighton were just getting a foothold in the game, didn't we? And they've certainly done that now.
And now Manchester United need to respond. A goal down in the FA Cup at Old Trafford. Here's Mainu just inside his own half. Two Brighton blue and white shirts around him. Manages to work it out to Dorgu on the left. United are still looking for that positive early ball forward. Just need to be careful here because they've been caught once already by Brighton, and they might get caught again. In fact, they've given away a free kick here just inside their own half, but they'll probably take that, to be honest, because Rutter was upended. Well, they were very open against Burnley the other night. I know they created a lot more, Manchester United, and Darren Fletcher said that, the amount of shots they had, the XG, but they drew 2-2, and they drew 2-2 because they're still way too open.
Yeah, and they have been a little bit open at certain points of this game, even though we're only 12 minutes in. One in particular is where Dorgu plays so advanced when he's playing left back today. He leaves that big space down the sides of Martinez. That could be a problem.
Oh, dangerous ball through the middle. Welbeck is chasing it. Fortunately, it's got too much on it for him. Lomans is alert to the danger, comes sprinting out to the edge of his penalty area to gather. Sorry, Alex.
No, I was just saying that the two full-backs are looking to play advanced, which is leaving huge space down the sides of the two Manchester United centre-backs, which obviously Brighton are going to look to exploit. They need to defend well in a 1v1 situation, Martinez and Yoro, today, if they're going to get any success from this game.
Oh, terrible pass by Lomans. Here's Welbeck for a chance for 2-0. Keeper saves it.
Wow.
And the rebound effort is over the bar by Rutter. Somehow Manchester United have survived. A massive howler at the back by Senna Lomans, who gifted the ball right to Danny Welbeck. He didn't look confident. His shot was through the keeper, didn't reach the line. United scuffed it out, and then Rutter, with the second attempt, put it over the bar.
It's nearly a horror show, isn't it? I mean, what he's doing, the goalkeeper there, he's trying to be too precise. He's trying to play it into his midfield man and split the lines by playing it between the two Brighton players. He plays it straight to the feet of Danny Welbeck inside the 18-yard box, and somehow he's managed to make the save after the mistake. But a glorious opportunity for Brighton there to go 2-0 up.
Yeah, and United now coming the other way, looking for a way back into the game. I tell you what, Senna Lomans actually made amends there. That was a really good save in the end.
After the mistake, you have to say.
Horrific pass right into the feet of Welbeck, but the save he made to stop Welbeck doubling Brighton's lead was actually really impressive. So 1-0 Brighton's lead at Old Trafford. United in possession just inside their own half. Mount is fouled, so it will be a free kick to Manchester United. Just a little bit of a nibble at the back of Mason Mount that time, which he didn't particularly like. Took a bit of exception to it from Kadioglu.
A few moans and groans for the referee there, Simon Hooper. United have took the free kick and the ball was still moving, so he's had to pull it back.
So that allows Brighton time to get men back behind the ball, and United will eventually restart play just inside their own half. Here is Lisandro Martinez stepping out of defence, plays an early one forward looking for Sesko, who's in behind, tries to chip the keeper, doesn't get enough on it, right, and it rises right into the hands of Steele. Good effort though. Good
little bit of play from Martinez. He steps out onto his right side and picks a lovely pass with his right foot just down the side of the Brighton centre half. Sesko makes a good run. And I have to say, the lob was on, wasn't it? Because Jason Steele was off his line. He just couldn't get the execution right. He tries the lob and he just puts it straight into the chest of the Brighton goalkeeper. But a good opportunity for Manchester United.
Yeah, got no issue with that, Alex. I mean, that's positive play, early ball forward, an effort, from Sesko. OK, he's not got it quite right, and it's a comfortable save in the end, but at least it's positive play. At least they're trying something. More than happy for Sesko to be in those kind of positions, because if he gets opportunities like that, he will score some of them. Here's Cunha, off balance, trying to have a go with his right foot. It's over the bar in the end. But the ripple of applause will tell you that that's what the fans want to see.
Positive play again. Works it inside. Bruno Fernandes on the ball, plays it inside to Cunha, who has a shot with his right foot. He's just falling a little bit off balance, isn't he, as he goes to hit it, and just rises over the Brighton crossbar. But positive play from Manchester United again.
Well, the defensive lapses and the openness at the back remains for Manchester United from the Ruben Amorim era, but in terms of whether they look like creating, it's polar opposites to what we were seeing a couple of weeks ago, it has to be said.
They've created a couple of opportunities, haven't they? I have to say both sides have looked not defensively sound, should we say. Both sides have had opportunities so far in this game.
It is an open game, as FA Cup ties sometimes are these days. So many clubs have other priorities now that the FA Cup often is a bit of I wouldn't want to call it a free hit, but an opportunity to maybe be a bit more expansive. Brighton have made 6 changes today, which tells you something about what their manager is thinking. But both of these sides you would think would want a good cup run. Manchester United 0, Brighton 1 the score on BBC Radio Manchester and on BBC Sounds this afternoon. Listen to us wherever you are with the app, and remember, if you do have BBC Sounds, search Manchester United and make sure you subscribe so you get an alert every time there is a new episode of the Devil's Advocate podcast available, every time there is a new interview from a Manchester United coach or player, which we suspect this week will be the new Manchester United manager, at least the interim one until the end of the season. Expecting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Michael Carrick to be confirmed in the next few days. And a nice easy start for them, because after this it's the Manchester derby next weekend and then it's Arsenal away in the Premier League the week after, so it's not going to get any easier for Manchester United.
I'm sure Michael and Ole might be thinking, can I take the job in 3 weeks' time? Please. Difficult start for the new man, whoever he is.
It is.
As tough as you get, City and Arsenal, first 2 games.
2 teams that have beaten Manchester United already this season, of course, so those two will be looking to do the double, although United's struggles seem to have been more in recent weeks with the lesser teams. They've failed to beat any of the bottom 7 in the Premier League. Lost to Everton and then that run of form here, a draw with West Ham, a draw with Wolves, a draw with Bournemouth, drew away at Tottenham as well, so they've struggled against the teams at the wrong end of the table, including Burnley on Wednesday night.
What a ball.
That's a brilliant ball out towards Mount on this right hand side, just zips away from him off the surface. He can't quite stretch a boot out and get to it. Initially looked like he was going to be in a really good position to deliver from this right hand side, but again, it's positive play, it's front foot stuff from United. They are committing bodies forward, they are playing passes forward, and I think it's noticeable, and it was noticeable on Wednesday night as well. Here's Dorgu. He was dragged down. Doesn't get a free kick because the play is still continuing. United still have it with Cunha. Now Mainu. Look at the amount of blue and white shirts around him. He's somehow snuck through them, Kobbie Mainu, and he's got it out to Dorgu on the left-hand side. Takes a touch to compose himself. Pulls it back to Mainu. Now an in-swinging cross towards Cunha. Just can't quite get over it, and it balloons off his head and behind.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get the execution right there, Kobbie Mainu. He picks the ball up wide and high on the left-hand side. He chops it onto his right foot and tries to find the back post, but it's just behind. It's just behind it.
Yeah,
Cunha, isn't it? Who tries to make the header. But good play from Kobbie Mainu in the Brighton half there. He's really good in tight situations.
Yeah, I really like the bit before where he managed to find his way away from 2 or 3 Brighton players and get a pass out to Dorgu on the left. Lovely footwork. Manchester United 0, Brighton 1 in the FA Cup. No JJ Gabriel for Manchester United today, by the way. There was some speculation the 15-year-old could be included in the squad today because the rules for this competition mean he could have played. Darren Fletcher was asked about it, having obviously coached him in the club's youth teams, and said it's probably a little bit too soon for him, but
it's a big ask for a 15-year-old, isn't it?
Well,
big ask, but there is
anyone who's seen him play for United's under-16s will know why the question's being asked. He is a wonderful talent, and I'm sure he will make his Manchester United debut at some point in the next few years.
Certainly scoring a lot of goals in the academy, isn't he?
He is indeed. As we approach the halfway stage of this first half, at the moment Manchester United are heading out of the FA Cup, and that would mean a 40-game season, which would be the fewest they've had since 1905. Still got plenty of time to change that, but they've got to face a Brighton free kick first, which Pascal Gross and Brian Gruder has stood over. Gross with the delivery, in it comes, headed away by United, edge of the box, right foot shot from Veltman. Took it on first time, the left back, with his right foot, absolutely rifled it. Fortunately for United, it was wide of the target.
It's a good job it was, because I tell you what, he struck it well, didn't he? He hit it like a rocket. We're just seeing the replay now on the monitor. It falls lovely for him on the half volley.
It's well wide in the end, isn't it?
But he struck it nicely.
The angle up here maybe tricked us into thinking it was closer than it was, but it was certainly a clean strike by Veltman. Now here's Sesko, offside again. Well, that's the second time, and that's something he is going to have to work on if he is going to, instead of playing with his back to goal, be a bit more forward facing. He's just making sure he times those runs a little bit better. But
I think he's onside. I'm just looking at the replay now. I think he times it well. I think it's a poor decision from the linesman. One thing I will say though, Bill, is that ball down the sides, they've got in a couple of times now, Manchester United. Sesko keeps making them runs. It wouldn't surprise me if they get in sooner rather than later with one of them balls down the sides. We've seen it. There was a lovely one before with Martinez. It was that time there with Dalot who played it down the side.
Yeah, well, Kadioglu, the Brighton left back, is advanced. He keeps moving into midfield, so there is a gap down there just wide of Boskagli, the left-sided centre-back. This time it's the opposite side of the field where Bruno Fernandes is chasing a ball towards the dead ball line. Little nudge in the back, was it? No, referee has given the corner kick. Or has he? Wait.
Surely he's got a book in then though, Bill, no? If he dives and he tries to fake the referee into a...
Well, Veltman felt he was pushed. Let's have a look at it on the replay here. He certainly slows down Veltman. Little nudge in his back from Bruno. He goes down appealing for a free kick. Referee has decided, no, not enough. And it's corner to Manchester United. Here it comes. Delivery right in on the keeper. That's an easy take in the end. Under no pressure. Steele. Disappointing. But they're in the game, which is one positive for Manchester United. But that bright start has just fizzled a little bit, hasn't it? And there is a bit of frustration growing amongst the United fans in the stands here. Want to see the side back on the front foot again. Let's see if Dalot can make something happen here. Good turn around the corner, picks out Cunha, who's going to take on his man. Low cross into the area, sliced over the crossbar by Coppola. That'll wake the crowd up.
Good play again from Manchester United. Dalot on the right hand side, chops inside onto his left foot, plays a lovely ball for Cunha, who makes another good forward run, tries to take it down the outside of Boskali, plays it into the 18-yard box and goes behind for another Manchester United corner. They need to put pressure on Jason Steele though. The previous corner was far too easy for him to come and collect.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of deliveries from that right-hand side by Bruno Fernandes. We're going to get Martinez on corner kicks here. So it's going to be a left-footed in-swinger on the old scoreboard end, the east stand here at Old Trafford. In it comes, deep one towards the back post again, headed away by Brighton, back into the mixer by Dalot, and well over, in fact it was Ugarte, and it's bounced behind for a goal kick. So Manchester United 0, Brighton 1, 25 minutes gone. Penny, for your thoughts, Darren Fletcher down there on the touchline. What will he make of this, Alex? What will he be thinking about this performance so far, and how United go about getting back in this game?
I think it's been a story of Manchester United's season, to be honest with you. They show good passages of play at times and create decent opportunities. It's just defensively they look a little bit weak at the moment. Brighton have caused them a few problems. It's been a very even game, but the one chance that Brighton have had, the outstanding chance, they took it. That's been the difference between the two sides.
United have had a decent spell of possession since the goal. Just need to really start testing stealing the Brighton goal, don't they? Here's Dorgu trying to run his way out of danger himself inside the United half. The applause will tell you he's managed to do it. Now Yoro stepping out from centre-back with the ball at his feet and his socks down round his ankles. Short pass into the feet of Ugarte. Casemiro is one of those who misses out today, so with Casemiro rested, it's Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo as the Manchester United midfield. Now Dorgu, early ball forward from him to Sesko. He's into the area, been forced wide out to the left-hand side. Recycles the ball, keeps hold of it. Now back down the channel for Mainoo. Can he keep that in play? Can, just before it crosses the line for a goal kick. Mainoo on the left-hand side. Plays a short pass in towards Martinez. He's got it. Left foot shot. Charged down. Good block in the penalty area by Brighton, and they've got the ball away. But again, there's Lisandro Martinez, a Manchester United centre-back, popping up in the penalty area with a shot on goal.
It's a good opportunity again for Manchester United. It's good defending, the way the defender threw himself to get the block in.
Thought you might appreciate that.
Yeah, it was a good bit of defending.
United have it on the halfway line with Dalot caught in possession, and this could be a bit of bother. Kadioglu opted to hold on to possession rather than play it forward early, but Brighton have it, and here's Welbeck back to Kadioglu, keeps it moving out to the right hand side. Bit of space for Gruder out there, the goal scorer. Hinshelwood, cross from him just over the head of Rutter in the middle. And they are dangerous, Brighton, aren't they? They play some really good football. Manchester United have got it back inside their own half here, but there are a few howls because of the short passing here, Alex. They're trying to play their way out of danger, and there's one or two in the crowd who want them to be a bit more direct.
It's obvious what the crowd wants. They just feel as if United are having too many passes in their own half, which I do get. Sometimes you just want to get the ball forward a little bit quicker and try and put pressure on Brighton's back line. As a defender, when you've got everything in front of you and they just keep passing it around, short passes in their own half, you're happy. You've seen when you play the ball forward and down the sides of the centre halves, and you've got the attacking players making runs down the sides, it causes problems, and that's what the supporters want to see.
That's the voice of Alex Bruce, the Salford City assistant boss on BBC Radio Manchester. Part of your commentary team for this FA Cup tie. United 0, Brighton 1 the score. United having the lion's share of possession now, but it's Brighton who have the lead. Earlier on, Arsenal survived the scare, conceding early at Portsmouth, eventually went through 4-1 with a Gabriel Martinelli hat-trick. Leeds also came from behind to win 3-1 at Derby County. Your old side, Hull, have gone to extra time against Blackburn Rovers in the FA Cup this afternoon. Norwich have beaten Walsall 5-1. Here come United with Cunha. Stabbed out to the left-hand side. West Brom are winning against Swansea in extra time, 2-1 up. It's half-time in extra time with West Ham leading QPR by 2-1. And the absolute thriller of the day, it sounds like, came at Bramall Lane, where it finished Sheffield United 3, Mansfield Town 4.
An amazing result for Mansfield, that.
Yeah,
what an amazing result for my old club yesterday, Macclesfield, as well. Huh? What a turnaround.
Well, that was without doubt the story of the round.
Really was.
the biggest shock in FA Cup history. 6th tier Macclesfield Town knocking out the holders Crystal Palace. Here's Cunha for Manchester United. Now Dallow, opportunity for a shot maybe, works it out to Mount on the right hand side. His low cross is blocked, second bite of the cherry, puts it in. Brighton hook it clear, but only as far as Yoro, and then Ugarte steps in to win it back. There's a cross towards Sesko at the back post, headed away by Brighton again. Well, it is the right way, I think, for United to be playing. This is a little bit more direct, a little bit more front foot than they were playing under Ruben Amorim. The danger is when you get caught out at the other end, and they might be here because Kadioglu's bringing it forward down the left hand side for Brighton. Back it comes to the edge of the box, dangerous cross in. Rutter very nearly gathered that under his spell. Looked like there was a bit of a pull on him perhaps by Dorgu, but
he's lucky, Dorgu, because he's the wrong side. He's the wrong side. He should be the goal side. He's the opposite, and he's got his arms all around him. If Rutter went down there, by the way, he would have given the referee a decision to make.
I'm not sure how much contact on him there was, but he was definitely the wrong side, and that's where you invite a bit of trouble. Brighton with the possession just outside the Manchester United penalty area, being forced back towards the halfway line though. Manchester United 0, Brighton 1 in the FA Cup. Here's a bit of space for Brighton on this left-hand side. Kadioglu into the area, low cross from him. Actually hit Ugarte, and the flag has gone up for offside. Kadioglu had advanced forward just a little bit too early, so when Gross's slide pass was put through to him, he was offside, and Manchester United can breathe a sigh of relief. I mean, again, it's tight, but I think he had gone too early, Kadioglu.
I just think it's a problem for Manchester United at the moment. We talk about them defensively. Their fullbacks are so advanced at times. It's quite scary. It's leaving big space. I know we keep speaking about it down the sides of the United centre-halves, but it's again an area where Brighton look to exploit.
Now, is this intentional, Alex, or is this the hangover maybe of the fact that they have been playing a 3-4-3? Are the fullbacks, not quite used to having to do a bit more defending? Possibly,
but when you say that, Manchester United teams in the past, when you've had exceptional centre halves, they've allowed themselves to defend 1-for-1, 2-for-2 at the back and push your full backs on. But you have to rely on excellent defenders to be able to cope with that. And at the minute, you'd have to say United have just struggled a little bit, because every time Brighton go forward, they look to expose Man United's centre halves, especially down the sides of them. It's where the goal came from, and it's where they just created another opportunity there as well.
No Shaw today for Manchester United, of course. Lisandro Martinez has come back after a long injury layoff. Lenny Yoro, a bright prospect, but still relatively inexperienced. Aidan Heaven.
Look where Dorgu is now, Bill. Look, you see, he's so high on that left-hand side.
Yeah, well, he's trying to give United an outlet on that left-hand side, isn't he? Dallow the same on the right, but you're in this position now where you've got Yoro rather back there on his own, because Martinez is coming forward. Ugarte's the only one really offering anything at the back in terms of cover. I mean, Martinez has ended up in the opposition penalty area there, and he's actually forced a save from Steele with a left foot shot from an acute angle, but that's your centre back running forward and has got licence to get into the opposition 6-yard box.
It's certainly expansive.
It's not what we've been used to, not recently anyway. It's not effective at the minute, but United are trying to change that here. Cunha on the right hand side, 1-0 Brighton lead. Cunha's pass is intercepted by Welbeck. They're having to do a lot of defending themselves here, Brighton. They're just coming under a little bit of pressure as United are trying to turn the screw. Better spell of possession from Darren Fletcher's side here. Now Bruno, options left and right, plays it immediately through the middle for Sesko, who wasn't quite set, couldn't take the ball in his stride, and as he tried to control it, it just ran agonisingly away from him and behind for a goal kick.
It was the right thing to do. Bruno, it was a great pass into Bruno in the middle of the Brighton half. He's tried to thread a little through ball for Sesko. He puts a little bit too much on it. Just looking at VAR. It's not a VAR, is it?
Well, there is no VAR in the FA Cup in the third and fourth round. We've just seen a replay of a shot from Fernandes that hit an arm just inside the penalty area. But referee Simon Hooper does not have the benefit of a VAR official to review things, so whatever decisions are made on the pitch will stand today, and it's been like that in all the FA Cup ties this weekend. Here come Brighton at the other end. If they would score, it would be a signal for United. Dalot makes sure they don't by heading it away. Still in play on the left-hand side. Didn't go behind for a corner. So Gross with the opportunity to gather the ball again for Brighton. Chipped towards the back stick. Nobody there. Dorgu has all the time in the world to deal with that one. And he hasn't dealt with it particularly well because he waited and then he slipped at the inopportune moment under pressure from Gruder. So Gruder has the ball back for Brighton, who lead by a goal to nil. His goal, the difference between the two sides. He's then gone down looking for a free kick he's not going to get. Now this could be an opportunity. Long one forward. Again, just a little bit too much on it for Sesko. Steele outside his penalty area, heads away. I just like the way that Benjamin Sesko is playing right now, Alex. It's a very different striker to, the second half at Burnley and the first half of this game today is much more how I like to see a centre-forward play, which is not with his back to goal, but, trying to get on the end of things.
He's asking the question of the Brighton centre-backs, isn't he, continuously by making the runs. The service he's received hasn't been great, I have to say, in this opening 35 minutes, but he's certainly asking the questions by keep making them runs, and he will have a little bit of confidence in him from his 2 goals the other night. It's what he needed, so let's hope he can build on that.
He had that one chance, didn't he, where he just didn't quite get enough on it, and it ended up in the hands. But again, one forward looking for him, headed away by Brighton on the edge of their penalty area, given away again though, so Ugarte wins it back for Manchester United. It's all very congested through the middle, but Mount's got the ball and he's away from 2 blue and white shirts. Picks out Dorgu on the left. Now back to Bruno. Bruno overcommits himself in the end. Rutter comes away with the ball. No outlet for Brighton though. This is better from United. Unfortunately, Sesko has come back from an offside position, so it'll be a free kick to the away side just on the edge of the penalty area.
Sloppy there from Sesko. I know we've just spoke about him, but he's on the right hand side and he can see right along the Brighton line. When the ball comes to him, he's got to be onside there.
The Brighton line. It's a train, that, isn't it? Here we go. Manchester United 0, Brighton 1. Alex Bruce and Bill Rice, your commentary team at Old Trafford, and it's Brighton through Gruder's goal, who at the moment are on course for the 4th round of the FA Cup. 12th minute they scored. They're now 8 away from half time. It would be really good if United could get themselves level before the break, just to put a bit of pressure on Brighton, who will probably be really, really pleased with how this first half has gone so far. Fabian Hersler's side took the lead after surviving the early onslaught and have managed to survive relatively unscathed since. United need to create more than this. Just haven't been able to build up a real head of steam or any sustained spell of pressure, have they, Alex? I mean, they've had moments. They've certainly looked dangerous at times. They've
huffed and puffed, haven't they? Their quality in the final third, and when I say their quality, that final pass has just let them down a little bit once too often. The outstanding opportunity that came in the first 2 minutes with Dalot being one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Apart from that, I can't really think of Jason Steele having too much to do. And the difference between the two sides is the one opportunity Brighton have had, glorious opportunity I should say, was that they've took theirs and Manchester United didn't take the one they had. Simple as that.
Yeah, and that is why Brighton lead by a goal to nil, and they have it attacking from right to left as we look in this first 45 minutes. Sir Alex Ferguson is here watching on from the director's box. Saw some TV pictures of him earlier, sat next to Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt. And here's one of his former players, Danny Welbeck, works it out to the left-hand side for Brighton. Kadioglu taking on his man, puts a low cross in. Welbeck can't bring it down. Rutter managed to control it, but the ball ran away from him. Welbeck's got it back here now, keeps it moving to the right. Back to Welbeck in the penalty area, hits the side net in. Angle against him, right-footed. Lomond's made himself big, and Welbeck, as he sees his right foot shot hit the side net in, then just takes a little stumble down that
He's always
elevated platform on the edge of the pitch.
He's always on the move, Danny. and he's so intelligent sometimes when he receives it around the 18-yard box. We saw it for the goal with his little dink towards the back post. I have to say, every time I see Welbs play, I think, why have they let him go? Well, I know it was a decision many years ago now when they let him go to Arsenal, but what a mistake that was. When we talk about bad decisions that the club have made in recent years, that's certainly one of them in my opinion.
Yeah, he was allowed to leave for Arsenal, of course, Danny Welbeck, 35 years old now, still being mentioned as a possibility for that England squad for the World Cup in the United States, Canada and Mexico next year, which tells you something about how good his form is. 8 goals in 22 appearances for Brighton this season. Really is having an Indian summer towards the end of his footballing career, but his movement there was fantastic again.
Just looks like he's enjoying himself, doesn't he? He's confident, he's fit, enjoying his football. Really pleasing to see, because he's had his struggle with injuries over the years, hasn't he? So I'm pleased he's doing well.
Now Manchester United have another free kick. It's going to be Bruno Fernandes again, and again it's in a really good position. This one is closer to goal. It's only about 23, 24 yards out maybe.
Really good position to have a free kick, especially with Bruno standing over it. United could do with this going in just to put the heat on Brighton.
Just right at the D.
The half time.
Fernandes to take it. 4-man Brighton wall is big and tall. Needs to get it up and over. Oh, he goes underneath, and it's just wide of the upright. Really clever free kick from Bruno Fernandes. Kept it low on the deck. The wall jumped, put it right underneath them, and it was just wide of Steele's goal.
You can see what he's trying to do there. The analysts have obviously done their homework, told Bruno that every time they have a set play, the wall must jump. So he's looked to try and hit the one underneath it, and just couldn't get the execution right and hit the target.
Yeah, really clever free kick from Bruno Fernandes. Unfortunately, just wide of the upright, hits the water bottle on its way behind, so comes to nothing. Well, it doesn't go down in the stats as a shot on target because it's wide, but I mean that is probably as good an opportunity as Manchester United have had. Brighton lead by 1-0 at a very quiet Old Trafford. 1 or 2, I think, already thinking about getting himself a warm beverage at half-time on what is a chilly Manchester afternoon. Not quite as cold as it's been the last few days. Temperature has come up a couple of degrees, but it's
nice and cosy in here, though, Bill, isn't it? It's tight, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I had a few too many mince pies over Christmas. Sorry about that.
So did I.
Hey, you were busy over Christmas. Carl Robinson made you take charge of the team once, didn't he?
I know. The flu got the better of him.
That's the Salford City camp, in case you were wondering. Their FA Cup tie yesterday was postponed, so that's been rearranged for Tuesday the 20th, the game against Swindon. BBC Radio Manchester, of course, the place to hear all your local sides when they're in action, whether that be a Saturday afternoon, a Sunday like today, or a midweek. There's a foul inside the United half. Referee Simon Hooper has spotted it. Martinez is down, rolling around, holding his calf. He's going to be all right, but he was just making sure the referee knew that he had been caught late there.
He nearly got himself in some trouble, taking too many touches in an area of the pitch where you do not want to give it away.
Message got through anyway. United have a free kick. Brighton lead 1-0 on BBC Radio Manchester. Joe McGrath back at breakfast tomorrow. We'll have a roundup of all the weekend sporting action. Here come United looking for an equaliser before half-time. Cross from Dorgu is just behind Cunha, but Brighton take no chances, put it behind for a corner kick. So maybe there is a United chance before the break.
Good little bit of play from Manchester United again. Ball played into Bruno in the middle of the pitch, and he flips it round the corner. And it works out to be a United corner.
Corner taken short and quick. Bruno Fernandes into the penalty area on the left. Lays it off for Dorgu. His cross headed back across goal by Martinez. There's all sorts of scrapping going on there. Shirt pulling on Sesko. Brighton have got it away. Well, Sesko was definitely having his shirt tugged as he tried to pull the ball down and get a shot on goal. Instead it goes out just for a throw-in. No VAR, of course. Ugarte for Manchester United, who trail by 1-0 inside the Brighton half. Dorgu is going to be forced all the way back to his goalkeeper. That leads to 1 or 2 groans from supporters who want to see the ball going forward. Dallow's made a good run there though, and he's in behind. Lovely touch from Dallow. Little back heel, doesn't come off. Well, he did the hard work, timing his run brilliantly, dragged it out the sky with a wonderful touch, but he knew he was heading down a cul-de-sac, tried to back heel it into the path of a teammate, got that bit completely wrong. Disappointing.
It's another great run though, isn't it, from him?
Wonderful,
exactly the same kind of run as what he made in the first couple of minutes of the game.
Mount's making another one now on this right hand side. Ball again, just too much on it, gets away from him.
Been the story of Manchester United's half, Bill, that they've made good runs, they've made a few good passes down the sides of the Brighton back two centre halves. It's just the execution when they get there. That pass has been astray once too often.
Referee doesn't want to hang about. Just 1 minute being added on at the end of this first half. That is the cue for plenty in the Sir Bobby Charlton stand that we sit in to make their way for a half-time cuppa or a bottle of beer or a Bovril or whatever it is you get these days. There is still time for United maybe to conjure one last opportunity. Cunha down the left-hand side. 3 defenders backtracking. Cunha's into the area. Right foot shot. Just wide again from Matheus Cunha. Cut inside onto his right. Put the defender on the deck. He needs to hit the target, really.
Again, it's just that last bit, isn't it? Good opportunity again. He cuts inside on his right foot. Lays the Brighton defender down. And then when he pulls the trigger, he just can't hit the target.
And he's another one, Matheus Cunha, bags of talent. I mean, sometimes some of his touches are Juan Mata-esque in the way he controls the ball. He's clearly talented, but maybe hasn't quite delivered as much as we would have hoped after his summer move. Anyway, that's the half-time whistle. Manchester United are 45 minutes away from elimination from the FA Cup. Gruder's early goal for Brighton, the difference between the two teams here at Old Trafford. United started brightly in Darren Fletcher's second game as caretaker boss, but Brighton weathered the storm. Gruder scored a goal for them after a wonderful bit of build-up play. First effort cleared off the line, but Gruder, first time left-footed, slotted home inside the penalty area, and despite United's best efforts, they haven't been able to get themselves level. A Bruno Fernandes free kick went just wide after he cleverly put it under the wall. That late effort from Cunha was just off target too, and an attempt to chip the keeper from Benjamin Sesko ended up in the hands of Steele, the Brighton goalkeeper. And so Manchester United have a bit of thinking to do during the half-time interval. They've got work to do if they want to stay in the FA Cup, because at half-time at Old Trafford it's Manchester United 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1.
Thank you, Bill. And Alex has just thank you, Bill. Bill has just been saying about some of the chances that Manchester United have had. Of course, nobody's going to be happy from a Reds point of view with this score at half-time, but just try and sum up the actual performance for us, because sometimes the score lines don't always reflect it. Does it in this case?
I think it's been pretty even, I have to say. I think both teams have had a couple of chances. I think the outstanding chance from Manchester United, the real outstanding one, was Dallow's in the first couple of minutes, where he's through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Jason Steele made a great save, but he has to score, really. You want that kind of opportunity to fall to one of your attacking players, not your fullback. But he's made a couple of decent runs, as has Sesko, as has Cunha. They've huffed and puffed. They just haven't got the execution right, and they've missed the target when they've got in there too many times. We're just seeing the replay there of the Dallow one. If he lifts it, he scores. He plays it straight at Jason Steele's feet. But that was the outstanding chance. And then obviously at the other end, Brighton point of view, the one chance that they've had where they really threatened Manchester United's goal, they took it, and it was a lovely bit of skill from Danny Welbeck. He chopped inside and outside of the United defender, dinks one to the far stick, and they managed to create a couple of opportunities, eventually leading to Gruder, who tucked it away. So, not forgetting the one where they did get away with one, Man United, by the way, with Lamens, when he tried to play it out through the thirds, and he played it straight to Danny Welbeck inside the 18-yard box, who should have scored. He made a good save in the end, but that was a glorious opportunity as well.
Yeah, it certainly was. There was a bit of I'm sure everybody was holding a breath for that moment, weren't they? And everyone's heart skipped a beat. in Old Trafford, because you go 2-0 down at that point. It's an awful uphill climb, but at this stage still very finely balanced, and they've never been out of the game, as you say. It's pretty much 50-50. What is it that they've been sort of lacking most, do you think, whether that's defensively or attacking wise?
I think the main topics for me is Fletch obviously wants the fullbacks to push on and give United width, which is leaving big spaces down the sides of Manchester United centre-halves, which Brighton have exploited. They certainly exploited it in the build-up to the goal. From an attacking point of view, they've got in good areas. It's just that little bit of quality when they get there, that final pass, that final shot, hit the target, make the goalkeeper work. And I'm sure that'll be the message in the second half. More of the same in terms of from an attacking point of view, but when you get there, you need to be more clinical.
Well, there's a tweet here from Nathan that says it's so easy for Brighton to carve United open. This game feels like it's passing the Manchester United midfield by. Is that fair?
A little bit, I suppose. Brighton do look threatening on the turnover. Every time on the transition they have hurt United, and they've looked threatening at times. However, that's going to be the nature of the beast. When you throw bodies forward, you play an attacking style of football, you can get hurt on the transition.
I think the interesting thing for me there, Alex, is how many times was Ruben Amorim asked about why he didn't play Kobbie Mainoo, and his answer was pretty much Kobbie's at his best in a 3. They've played a 2 today of Agati and Mainoo. I do think sometimes they need a third midfielder in there. Now, to do that, you either have one less defender or you have one less forward. I wonder whether 4-3-3 might be a better way forward rather than this 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, it depends how you look at it though, Bill. Some people would say they are playing a 3 in there because they're playing 2 6s and an 8, or a 2 6s and a 10. It depends which way you look at it. I mean, a lot of teams play with one pivot where Bruno can go up against him, so it depends on the setup and the way they play. But United, listen, you have to remember as well, Kobbie Mainoo's not played in a while, so he is going to be a little bit rusty, which was inevitable.
Meech says, a bit harsh this one, get to the final third and brain cells fly out of the window. Not a clue how to create better chances or convert the good chances they get.
Well, they have got in good positions and they haven't finished them. I don't know it. Well, I'll answer it, Alex, because you look like you don't know what to say to that one.
Yeah, it's probably fair, to be fair.
I don't know if it is brain cells or not, but I do know that they've got to do better in those situations, and however that is, whether it's more time on the training pitch, whether it's mentality, whether it's seeing a psychologist, I don't know, whatever it is, a bit of confidence, one going in off your backside or whatever, but these forwards are getting in good positions but they're not finishing them.
And that's what a good player is. That's what you pay the big money for, and that's what the best players do. When you get in the final third, they go calm, they go cold, they pick the right option, they make the goalkeeper work, they hit the target, and unfortunately from a Manchester United point of view, they haven't done that often enough.
Chapper says United are always weaker in 50-50 challenges. It's like they don't even fight or be physically stronger than the opposition. That sounds like a generalisation, but obviously they're referring to today as well, but basically inferring that they're like that all of the time. Is that fair? Have they been sort of fighting in 50-50s, and did they look like they've got that fight in them?
I think they've had a fight. I think you can't accuse the players of not trying. They look like they're trying to me. I think sometimes with a lack of confidence as well, sometimes it can look like a player's not trying, but he's just lacking a little bit of confidence, and you can hear some of the moans and the groans sometimes around the stadium when someone makes a misplaced pass. It can affect the players, and I think sometimes that is the case.
Akil says, too much respect for Brighton, no aggression. We are at Old Trafford. Eddie says we've looked good going forward but not clinical enough to create or finish chances. Every time Brighton come forward we look like we could concede. Overall, not good enough. Aaron says whenever Brighton are attacking, their passes seem to be quicker and more precise, and they seem to get further up the pitch with less passes than we do. They look a much better team than us. Do they look much better? You don't have to break all of those down, but there was comments like too much respect, not enough aggression, not clinical enough, which we've all already covered. But in terms of Brighton looking that much better, is that the case?
I don't think it's been the case where they've looked better, to be honest with you. I think it's been a pretty even half on the run of things, I have to say. I'll have to have a look at the stats to see the possession count and the chances created, clear-cut chances and what have you, but on the actual naked eye, I just think that it's been a pretty even game. The one main talking point is that Brighton have just been more clinical by taking their main opportunity.
Yeah, the stats will tell you United have had more of the ball, more shots, more on target, more touches in the opposition half. So I don't think it's that Brighton have been much better than Manchester United. What I would say is they look like a team that are further down their journey, and that's because they've had a manager who's been in charge, so they kind of know what they're doing, whereas United have had Darren Fletcher for 2 or 3 sessions this week. They're not playing the way they played under Amorim. They're trying to do something different, and they probably haven't had very much time on the training pitch to put it into practice yet.
Very difficult, Bill, especially when like I said before, with a new manager coming in, every manager has a style of play and how they want to go about it, and to change a style of play and change a formation, especially at this stage of the season when games are so regular, you can't do much work on the training ground. It's difficult to change the way a team should play.
The likes of Mainoo, who obviously hasn't had much game time.
Exactly.
12 shots for United, 4 for Brighton, 62% for United, 38 for Brighton. A couple of the key stats there. Just a final one. Ben says, this just shows some of the players are definitely not good enough for Manchester United. Years of poor management and recruitment showing. Obviously just feeling generally negative with what's going on at the minute, which is understandable, I guess, Alex. Everybody needs a boost and a lift, don't they? And hopefully they can provide it in the next 45 minutes or so.
Absolutely, and they can do, and I think that's got to be the message from Fletcher at half-time, and I'm sure it will be. The cup tie is still well and truly on. I mean, if United get a goal early in the second half, kicking toward the Stretford end, they can definitely turn this around, there's no doubt about it. And they've got the quality players like Cunha, Mason Mount, Bruno, who can certainly unlock a defence and score a goal, so they just need more from them players in the second half.
I've seen them do some pretty special things in the FA Cup previously. Will we get that again today at Old Trafford? Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Alex. They'll be back with you for the second half commentary of Manchester United and Brighton in the FA Cup third round. The Reds 1-0 down at the halfway break. Coming up before the second half commentary, we'll have a look back at some of the magic that happened for our local sides yesterday.
It's time for more of this.
Are you serious?
The Traitors Uncloaked is the only place you'll see players react as they find out who's been deceiving them.
I knew it!
It's the only place for official behind-the-scenes deep dives into the latest plot twists.
That is brilliant.
And it's the only place where we chat to famous fans and players from series gone by.
I wouldn't want to be a traitor.
Oh, it's the best part. No, that's what a traitor would say.
Yeah.
The Traitors Uncloaked, the official visualised companion podcast with me, Ed Gamble. Watch on iPlayer, listen for more on BBC Sounds.
Total Sport.
BBC Radio Manchester.
Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 0, Brighton 1. Second half commentary on the way of the FA Cup third round, which this weekend has delivered some incredibly memorable moments. None more so than non-league Macclesfield, who produced one of the greatest shocks in FA Cup history with a stunning performance to knock out holders Crystal Palace. The Silkmen beat the Eagles 2-1 and are ranked 117 places below the Premier League side, and this is how they did it.
It is Macclesfield FC against Crystal Palace. The third round is underway of the FA Cup.
I wanted to go and play with freedom because, listen, they've got nothing to lose. They've done absolutely unbelievable to get to this stage of the competition, so just go and express themselves and enjoy the occasion.
Duffy clips the ball into the box, heads go up, Dawson gets it, and Dawson nods it into the bottom right-hand corner. Macclesfield FC captain Paul Dawson has given the Silkmen the lead against the FA Cup holders. There is the half-time whistle, and it sounds almost like the full-time whistle. Listen to those cheers. Macclesfield FC 1, Crystal Palace 0 at half-time.
No matter what you do in life, you want to do something to make yourself proud and, you know, look at the players, what an opportunity they've got to go and perform in front of millions of people.
Oh, to defensive! Oh my goodness me! Buckley Ricketts has sent Macclesfield FC 2-0 up against the FA Cup holders. Scenes of absolute delirium at Moss Rose. Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 0. Hard-on effort from Wharton. Oh, that's the first great save by Max Durnley. It was Wharton who fired it first time left-footed, and it needed a smart save from the Macclesfield goalkeeper. Pino strokes it. Oh, he scores! Does Jeremy Pino? There's finally some class from Crystal Palace. It's a clip free kick into the top right-hand corner of the goal, but Palace have only got a minute left of this one. Maxfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 1. And the referee blows the whistle. Scenes of utter jubilation here at Moss Rose as the fans stream onto the pitch, celebrating with their heroes on a day that Macclesfield FC will never ever forget. They have knocked out the holders of the FA Cup, Crystal Palace, who won.
Yes, a magical FA Cup day for Macclesfield FC. Let's hear from Siltman boss John Rooney, who was lost for words after a remarkable day.
It's incredible. It still doesn't feel real. Obviously, before the game, we were talking about, with a bit of hope and listening to the FA Cup, but did they really believe it? No, probably not. But when we went 1-0 up, I was like, they're going to come on top now. But I thought the lads, I didn't think, obviously we won the game, but I thought we were well-deserved winners as well. I thought we were outstanding.
I've spoken to both of your goal scorers, and clearly the momentum of the game was shifted by the timing of both of those goals. But I think particularly the goal from Paul Dawson really gave you hope. And I just wonder, from a coach's perspective, just before half-time, how important was that for you?
No, it's, you take scoring a goal against the Premier League side, but to score just before half-time and then to get the lads in, see the next 5 minutes out and then get them in, and just to tell them about the second half, how can we slow the game down, how can we manage the game, how can we take the sting out of it if they have a spell. And they carried it out, every one of them to a man. The subs that come on, outstanding, and as I touch on, I couldn't be any prouder, and it's still surreal to me. It's wow, can't believe it.
And these players are here because they're good footballers, they have ability, but was there any question in your mind they had the character to get over the line today, having taken the lead?
It's hard because you're up against the Premier League side, so whether they've got character or not, but I thought they showed the character in abundance. They showed a real grit about them, winning the second duels, winning the individual battles, 2 centre-halves were solid as a rockhead and everything. I thought we were outstanding, so if anyone questions their lad's character in there after seeing that today, wow.
Macclesfield boss speaking to BBC's Gary Flintoff after the game, and Siltman forward Damani Mellor also spoke to BBC Radio Manchester's Alex Whittington.
Damani, how are you feeling after that? What are the emotions?
The change room there is ecstatic. I think coming into this game, obviously we're the underdogs, and I think we used that. I think we just thought, you know what, we've got nothing to lose, lads, let's just get after him. And the FA Cup's full of upsets, and today we upset, didn't we? So,
the biggest one of all time. Biggest one.
The reigning champions, we come through, and credit to the lads today. We dug, we stuck in, and we beat them.
The thing was, you can't keep a smile off your face, can you? It's unbelievable. It's what dreams are made of, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a massive moment, obviously, just for the club and the fans. The fans played their part today, and obviously Ethan McLeod, unfortunately, who's not with us today, we've done that for him as well. So his family was here. I'm so happy that it's gone the way it did.
The first goal goes in, Dorse. Yeah. How did you feel when that went in?
I couldn't believe it. I don't think any of the lads did. Everyone just piled up in the corner and just thought, do you know what, it's gone in. So it's a credit to Dorse, great header, and he's the captain in it. So
I tell you what, from the first 30 seconds as well, when he went in for that head collision as well, bandage round the head, led from the front. What's it like having like a captain and leader like that when you're out on the pitch?
No, it's class, Dorse. He's always on you. Don't give you a minute to rest, but that's what you need, and the team needs that little motivation. He gives you that, and that he's going to put a shift and put his head where it hurts. And I think that's the most important thing as a captain and as a leader.
What a result for Macclesfield. Manchester United now in the second half, just underway against Brighton. Can they make their entry into the fourth round of the FA Cup as well? To talk us through the second half action at Old Trafford, Bill Rice and Alex Bruce.
Thank you very much, Stacey. Yeah, no changes here at the start of the second half for Manchester United. We are back underway. United 0, Brighton 1 in the FA Cup. Manchester United having already exited the Carabao Cup at the first opportunity, losing on penalties to Grimsby Town. No European football this season. If they were to lose today, that is a 40-game campaign, Alex Bruce, which would be the fewest games they've played since 1905.
Incredible stat, that, isn't it? I think when you think 40 games, when you look at teams in the past, certainly here at Old Trafford, who were probably playing toward near enough 60 games with the Champions League, playing in Europe, So yeah, gives you an example to miss out by 15-20 games extra in cup competitions is massive.
And that brings all sorts of issues, of course, which we'll talk about in a second, because United have a free kick on the right hand side, attacking the Stretford end as we look in this second half. Bruno with the delivery, too close to the keeper, right into the hands of Steele. Really disappointing delivery that. I'll run you down the two teams then. United 0, Brighton 1 the score. So Manchester United have Senna Lomans in goal, a back four from right to left of Diogo Dalot, Lenny Yoro, Lisandro Martinez and Patrick Dorgu. Then Kobbie Mainoo starts in midfield alongside Manuel Ugarte. Up ahead of him, Mount on the right, Matheus Cunha on the left, and Bruno Fernandes just behind Benjamin Sesko, who is leading the line up front. For Brighton, Steele in goal, back four of Veltman, Coppola, Boscagli and Kadioglu. Hinshelwood and Pascal Gross the central midfield, with the goal scorer of Gruder, Rutter and Gomez just behind the former United man Danny Welbeck, who is leading the line up front. No changes to either side for this second 45. United attacking the Stretford end, and here's Cunha into the area on the left, low cross first time, deflected behind for a corner kick. Exactly the kind of start to this second half you would be hoping for, Alex Bruce.
Yeah, playing in Brighton's half on the front foot, trying to put pressure on. They need to get back in the game, don't they? So they've set the stall out, and their intentions early doors here in the second half.
And a corner kick for Manchester United, which Bruno Fernandes, the captain, will take. Before he can, he's just got to get a second ball off the pitch, because it was thrown back from the Stretford end and it had landed on the surface, so that's now cleared out the way. And here he comes up to the quadrant, right-footed delivery, headed away under his own crossbar by Welbeck, worked out as far as Dorgu. United still have the possession, and an ambitious one drilled by Ugarte, trying to get United on the front foot, but it's behind Bruno Fernandes, out for a Brighton throw-in.
Poor ball, he tries to hit it on the half volley out to this left hand side where Bruno was, and he didn't get the execution right. He puts it straight out of play.
They look brilliant when you get them right there, those. Anyway, United have won the ball back, and Dorgu has it again on this left hand side. Now Mainoo, everyone in Brighton blue and white back behind the ball, and this was perhaps United's problem in recent games, is when teams are sat behind the ball, but you need to quicken up the passes to get through the lines. It's been a little bit static. Bruno goes cross field, bounces out to Cunha, urged to shoot, cuts inside instead, keeps it moving. Now a low cross in towards Mount, took a deflection, and it takes it into the hands of Steele. And that again has almost immediately got Fabian Herzler bouncing out of his technical area to just tell his side to slow it down and calm down, because they have not made a good start to this second half. United 0, Brighton 1 the score. But Brighton have barely been on the ball in this second half. Certainly haven't been in the Manchester United half. It's been one-way traffic, which is exactly what it should be when Manchester United are on the attack. Again though, Mainoo this time with a drilled ball out towards Bruno. Too much on it. Runs away from the Portuguese and out for a throw-in.
Again, story of the first half, wasn't it? Like just that last little bit, we've seen it in this opening 4 minutes. Ugarte putting one out of play, trying to hit the sidewind, a half volley out to his teammate, puts it out of play. Mason Mount there putting it out of play. It's just that little bit of quality when they get there.
But we want them to try ambitious things like that, don't we? We don't just want sideways and backwards.
We do want them to try things, but they're Manchester United players. There's trying things and getting the execution right. They should be getting the execution right more often than what they are at the moment.
Here's a rare foray forward for Brighton early in the second half, with Gruder the goal scorer. He's got an overlap outside him in Kadioglu, pulls it back to the edge of the area, is actually taken away from Rutter there. Still Brighton have it. Gross 25 yards out, then Hinshelwood, and eventually Bruno Fernandes wins it back. Under pressure, he's going to pick a pass. Great composure from Bruno to twist and turn, and then works it out to Dalot on the right, and then Dalot returns with a horrific pass infield, and Brighton win it back again. Neither side has been anywhere near their best in this one, it has to be said. Been sloppy at times, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. For Manchester United to get back in the game though, they need these two players to get on the ball more, Cunha and Bruno. If anything's going to happen for them, it's going to come through those two players. Get them on the ball, try and get them going and create something, because they're the two players to do it.
Dorgu wanted a free kick there. Certainly the crowd felt he deserved it. Wasn't given. Eventually Matheus Cunha is upended. And that'll be a free kick to Manchester United out on this left-hand side, tight to the touchline. Mentioned Cunha late in the first half, Alex. He came in from Wolves, of course, over the summer, £62.5 million. 4 goals so far for Manchester United. Has he delivered enough return for you?
You'd probably want him to do a little bit more. I do think he's done okay. I do think he's one of Manchester United's better players, one of their better attacking threats, and you need to give people time.
Here comes Bruno Fernandes with the free kick. In it goes. Oh, it's almost a scorpion kick style hook at it from Mason Mount. Loops over the crossbar and behind. Goal kick.
That was nearly a great execution from Mason, wasn't it? The ball was behind him. It comes in from Bruno. He delivers it, and it's just behind him. He tries to. Was it Mason Mount or was it Martinez?
Martinez, I think who actually got the touch. Both of them had the same idea.
Reminiscent of Van Persie's one, wasn't it? Do you remember for Arsenal? Was it Van Persie who hit it?
It was Giroud, yeah.
Giroud, that was it. Scorpion kick.
Mkhitaryan did one for Manchester United here, and then the next week Giroud did one that was even better for Arsenal. Anyway, this one won't be shown again on the highlight reels, but it was a good effort. Manchester United, of course, do have the likes of Joshua Zirkzee and Shea Lacey on the bench if they want to call upon them to try and rescue this FA Cup tie this afternoon. Casemiro is down there warming up as well.
Poor free kick given away there from Dorgu. High and wide in this right-hand side for Brighton to deliver it into to Manchester United's box. It was a good little bit of play from Gruder, who's been one of the shining lights for Brighton. He's had some good touches, he's got good feet, and he's drawn the foul there from Dorgu, so they're going to deliver it into United's box here.
Yeah, it's the double G's of Gruder and Gross stood over the ball again for Brighton. Free kick on the right hand side. Just one man in the wall, which is Cunha. Everyone else is in the middle to aim for. Here is the low delivery, stabbed away, and then a snapshot on goal. Well, I say on goal, it's well over the crossbar. Not a pretty effort at all from the centre-back, who was forward for the set piece.
It was a proper centre-back's finish, wasn't it? He's just leaning back.
Oh, it was Veltman actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Sorry, it was Veltman. Yeah, it was a good chance though. He should have hit the target. It was a really good opportunity there. It worked its way to him in the United's 18-yard box. He just leant back and couldn't get the execution right.
Well, he hit one really well with his right foot in the first half. This one with his left. Less said, the better. Anyway, good news for United because it remains just 1-0 to Brighton, which means the cup tie is still alive and well on BBC Radio Manchester. And Cunha's given away a free kick though there. He's just gone in a little bit late on Kadioglu. Free kick given against him. United, of course, will have Amad Diallo and Brian Mbeumo back for the Manchester derby next week. Those two both eliminated from AFCON this weekend.
That'd be big for United, that, won't it, having those two players back? When you look at the bench here, it'll just give them a little bit more in terms of being able to change it.
The real question is, can you get them both into the team? Because Amad has been operating as a wing-back and Mbeumo in one of the two number 10 roles, so it'll be interesting to see how United line up in the derby next week. Before that, they've got this cup tie to navigate because here's Gruder on the right hand side for Brighton again, cutting into the penalty area, trying to work a shot on his left foot perhaps, doesn't come off, but Brighton have still got it. But Veltman has come back from an offside position. That's poor from him, and it will be a free kick to Manchester United inside their own penalty box.
I'm not sure if the linesman got that one wrong, you know. It was a tight call, that. I'll have to see the replay.
Well, there've been a couple, haven't there, on this side, which have been tight. Noussair Mazraoui probably won't be back next week. Morocco's still in the Africa Cup of Nations. They've got a semi-final midweek to look forward to. But Mbeumo and Amad back is a massive boost for Manchester United, and with the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount and Kobbie Mainoo all back from injury as well, whoever the new manager is, they're going to have almost a full squad to choose from.
We talk about the two tough games coming up with City and Arsenal as well, but if you look at it from a positive point of view, what a great way to announce yourself as a Manchester United manager if you can go and get positive results in them games, especially with the players they've got coming back from the AFCON, players coming back from injury, a full healthy squad. It's a good opportunity for the new manager to really stake a claim, put his marker down.
Well, off the back of draws with the likes of Wolves, Burnley, possibly even an FA Cup exit today, unless they can turn things round. If the new manager came in and got results against Manchester City and Arsenal, that would send a real statement of intent. They need some kind of positivity around the place, that is clear. And whether that new manager bounce can provide it, we shall have to wait and see. Brighton have a free kick inside the Manchester United half. It's right in front of the dugout, or the technical area, where Fabian Herzliya is stalking the ground, pacing left and right. Seen you do a bit of that down there on the technical area in recent weeks.
It's what's got to be done, especially on a cold day, Bill. Pace around.
It must be horrible. I mean, it can be frustrating up here watching. I can't imagine how difficult it is to watch from the sideline. Anyway, Brighton on the attack again into the penalty area with Gruder. His shot is not deflected. It's a left foot effort which has gone wide of the target. Will be a Manchester United goal kick. I do wonder sometimes why anyone would want to be a football manager when you have to be down there trying to issue instructions and desperate to get your messages across, and ultimately you are very powerless to what happens in between the white lines.
It can be a lonely place at times, I have to say, especially when you look at managers who are in difficult periods and finding it tough. When you stood in that technical area and the results aren't going for you, it can be a hard place to be.
Fortunately, you and Cal don't have that issue at Salford at the moment. Going really nicely in League Two, well set to challenge for promotion in the second half of the campaign, and an FA Cup tie still to come. Here come United at the other end with a in-swinger from Cunha, right into the hands of the keeper.
They need something, Manchester United, don't they? It's been flat. It's gone the last 5 or 6 minutes. There's been no real opportunities at goal. The stadium's a little bit quiet. You might have to start asking the question of Fletch now. What changes could he possibly make?
Well, he's got his two sons on the bench, Jack and Tyler Fletcher, of course. Casemiro. Shea Lacey is the one that jumps out at me.
Xerxes as well. You've got Harry Maguire, set plays, possibly. Could he bring a little bit of something to the team?
Well, we assume if Maguire is on the bench, he is fit enough to play some minutes. Whether he can do half an hour or 20 minutes or so, we'll have to wait and see.
He's got them all out warming up now anyway.
Certainly can have an impact, Harry Maguire. We saw that in the Europa League last season with that dramatic late winner against Lyon, and the one in the FA Cup here as well against Leicester, was it? He is a goal threat, there is no doubt about that. Here's Welbeck for Brighton inside his own half, right on the right hand touchline. He's got away from Mainu. He's done well there, Welbeck, and eventually he's brought down by Kobbie Mainu. That's going to be a yellow card.
Such good play again from Danny Welbeck. You talk about quality there. He's got 3 or 4 Manchester United players around him. He gets out of a tight area. He keeps the ball for his side, draws the free kick, uses all of his experience.
Well, it's quality, but I think experience is the key there. Danny Welbeck at 20 wasn't making ones like that. Danny Welbeck at 35 is a better player than he's probably ever been.
Yeah, there's an argument for that the older you get, you get to know your game, you get to know your strengths. I'm just looking at Xerxes there, stripped. He's coming on.
Yeah, he will be making his introduction very shortly for Manchester United. Joshua Xerxes, who scored in their last home game here, didn't he, against Wolves, and then was taken off. Manchester United ended up drawing that game 1 each. The last game here of the Ruben Amorim era. They had one more away at Leeds before the manager's explosive press conference. Here come Brighton looking for a second that would kill the game. It's into the penalty area, away by United, and they've got away with another one there, Alex, because it was a little bit too easy for Brighton to carve their way into the box and get a cross in.
A little bit. You took the words out of my mouth. I was close to shouting down there myself. Dorgu's just watching Brighton build the attack down the right hand side. He's got his hands behind his back. It does my head in when you see defenders try and defend properly with their arms behind the back. How are you meant to balance yourself and run properly? He's doing that, and he's giving the Brighton player 5 or 6 yards to pick his pass. Far too easy.
I assume someone's telling them to do that. I assume it's all about not giving away a handball, but it does make the job tougher.
Shea Lacey coming on. You can see Johnny Evans and Fletcher in the technical area now, giving Xerxes and Shea Lacey their instructions before they enter the field of play. We'll have to see who they're going to replace.
Well, Shea Lacey was so close, inches away from scoring a winner at Turf Moor against Burnley the other night. Now, Kobbie Mainoo's race is run. He's done an hour. He's going to be replaced by Joshua Xerxes, so that is a positive substitution from Manchester United. I think Bruno Fernandes will drop back into central midfield here. Xerxes will go and play on the right-hand side.
Yeah, Xerxes just going to play off the front of Sesko by the looks of it, with Bruno going a little bit deeper alongside Ugarte, and Shea Lacey will come on now on that right-hand side and look to inject a little bit of excitement, a little bit of pace, bit of energy like he did the other night against Burnley. We saw how the impact that he nearly had. He needs to go and do the same.
So Kobbie Mainoo and Mason Mount make way, with Joshua Xerxes and Shea Lacey coming on for Manchester United. 18-year-old, born in Liverpool, of course, but a product of this Manchester United academy. And yeah, he was so close to the winner against Burnley the other night. A couple of great efforts, one of which came back off the woodwork. And we know how much Manchester United and this crowd at Old Trafford love to see young academy players come on and have an impact and play positive front foot football. Can Lacey provide something here? They need it. They're losing and they're on their way out the FA Cup unless something changes. 1-0 Brighton lead. Here comes Cunha with options left and right. He's into the area. Still going, Matthias Cunha. Ran himself into a cul-de-sac. Just took too long, didn't he? Had at times opportunities to pull the trigger, which he didn't take.
He worked it into a good area. He just took too many touches. He should have just pulled the trigger. He was in a good position to get a shot off. And as I say, he just took too many touches inside the Brighton 18-yard box.
So United now have Sesko up top, Xerxes behind him, Cunha as well. Lacey is on the right-hand side. Bruno Fernandes has effectively dropped back 20 yards to be alongside Ugarte, but you can guarantee he'll still want to get forward and get on the ball if possible. Brighton in possession. They lead 1-0 in the FA Cup on BBC Radio Manchester.
Great touch.
Ball forward. Oh, here's a chance for Welbeck in the area. Left foot shot into the top corner. Thumping strike by Danny Welbeck. Too hot for Lomans to handle. And Danny Welbeck, against his old side, may have just consigned Manchester United to their shortest season in over 120 years. It's Brighton 2. It's Manchester United 0, Brighton 2, and that could be the killer blow.
He loves scoring against his old team, doesn't he? He's been the best attacking player on the pitch for me, Welbs. And what a goal, I have to say. It's a wonderful goal from a Brighton point of view. It's wrapped into Gruder in and around the 18-yard box. He turns far too easy from Manchester United's point of view defensively, but he turns and finds a pass to Danny, who takes a lovely touch with his right foot. He switches it to his left and he hits one from the edge of the box high into the roof of the net. Goalkeeper no chance. It's a great finish. It's a wonderful goal from Danny Welbeck, I have to say.
Great work by Gruder in the build-up. He has been sensational for Brighton, and he picked out Welbeck. The ball was bobbling, and yet he's left-footed, got away from Yoro and thumped it right into the postage stamp. And suddenly Manchester United are facing an FA Cup exit. Well, there was always that risk, bringing on an extra forward, you would get undone. Game's not over yet though. Here's Sesko into the area, flags up for offside, keeper makes the save. It wouldn't have counted anyway. It's a good save by Steele.
Great save from Jason Steele. Just didn't get his timing of his run right, Sesko. He goes too early, he's clearly offside. Gets the timing of the run all wrong.
Yeah, he is just off. Good touch, one to control, then the left foot one saved by Lomans.
Just looking at the replay again of Danny's goal. What a great finish.
Oh, it's an incredible finish by Danny Welbeck, but
wonderful strike.
Could United have done better in the build-up? Could they have been tighter to Gruder? Could Yoro have been closer to Welbeck, who seemed to turn away from him with ease? Easy to say with hindsight perhaps, but So important that United didn't concede that second goal. They have got a mountain to climb now.
Oh, he's got to play it. You can hear the crowd, the moans and the groans. It's played into Sesko. He just needed to sweep it with his left foot out to Dorgu and he would have been in on goal. He was in acres of space and he turned the wrong way going into players. Just making that wrong decision again, taking the wrong option. It's happened too many times.
Didn't see him, did he? But there was a pass on to this left-hand side that would have had Manchester United surely on the attack. Well, Dorgu here has had his arm tugged in the penalty area. He hits the deck. Referee, despite the howls from the Stretford end, shakes his head. Not too many protests from the players, it has to be said.
No, there wasn't enough, was there? I think the referee got it spot on. I don't think Gruder, even though he put his arm across Dorgu. I can just see, is it Travis Binion and Darren Fletcher there talking in the 18-yard box? They're just discussing how changes they could possibly make.
Well, Alex Ferguson's face is an absolute picture. He is not enjoying what he's watching here this afternoon at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Brighton 2. 23 minutes plus stoppage time for United to, I won't quite say save their season, because they've still got European football to play for and could still finish in a decent position in the Premier League, but any chance of silverware is ebbing away here, because the FA Cup was their last chance realistically of winning anything. And they are 2-0 down at home to Brighton and Hove Albion, who they have never lost to in an FA Cup tie. It's going to take something special to change that now. United on the attack, crossing, Sesko with the header, it's wide of the target. Well, that's the best bit of attacking play we've seen for a while from Manchester United.
And it's Shea Lacey on that right hand side. He bobs and weaves and jinks, takes it towards the byline, crosses one in with his right foot, and there's Sesko with the header. He just doesn't get the execution right. It goes wide of the post, but better from Manchester United. You can hear straight away it lifts the crowd a little bit, and they're going to need a goal quickly if they're going to get back into this cup tie.
It wasn't a great cross from Lacey. The great work was to get in a position. He actually put it slightly behind Sesko. Sesko did enough to win the header, couldn't steer it goalwards. Sometimes it's just you've got to try things, haven't you? You've got to buy a ticket if you want to win the lottery. Lacey did it that time, and he's advancing down this right hand side again here. Here's Lacey up against two defenders, gets past them both, wants a free kick he's not going to get. But there's a bit more urgency about Manchester United now. There has to be. 20 minutes away from FA Cup elimination. 2-0 Brighton lead. United have the ball with Agate into the feet of Bruno Fernandes. Welbeck's won it back for Brighton inside his own half. And this is the problem for United, is not only are they 2 down, but they're playing against a side that's very good in possession in Brighton. And the more desperate they get to win the ball high up the field, Manchester United, they're just going to leave bigger and bigger gaps for Brighton to try and exploit. It's a dangerous game, but they have no choice. Got to play it now.
I'm just looking, Brighton are making a change. It looks like Van Heck's going to come on, if my eyes are correct. Is it Van Heck? Yeah, I think
they've done the hard work here, Brighton, haven't they? So
put an extra defender on the pitch, maybe, just to shore it up. You're right, though, Bill. They're good in possession of the ball. They look after it well. I think he's had a very, very good game. Brejan Gruder, he's took it in tight areas, had a huge impact in this match.
Well, Rutter's been caught in possession here, and Cunha can bring it away for Manchester United. Out to Dorgu on the left-hand side. There's a dangerous cross towards Xerxes. It's headed away at the back by Brighton, trying to complete the clearance away downfield. Gomez, now Martinez, short into the feet of Bruno Fernandes. Now Xerxes, neat 1-2 with the Manchester United captain. Out to Lacey on the right again. That gets everyone up off their feet. Bruno with the cross towards Dorgu on the back post. Brighton head it away. And now there's going to be a scrap with Agate down here near the corner flag. He's won a throw-in for Manchester United. Plays it off the Brighton defender. Is that going to be the moment for Brighton and Hove Albion to make the substitution? There's no urgency, it seems, to make that change. So United have a throw-in. 20 minutes left at Old Trafford. United 0, Brighton 2. You're listening to BBC Radio Manchester. Remember, reaction to this game to come. We'll always bring you the latest on the Joe McGrath Breakfast Show on BBC Radio Manchester, and if you've got the BBC Sounds app, make sure you search for Manchester United and subscribe to the Devil's Advocate to get an update every time there is a new podcast or interview available. Bring you reaction from Darren Fletcher later on tonight, and then hopefully within the next few days, news of the announcement of the next Manchester United manager, the head coach until the end of the season at least. Lomans at the back under pressure, gets it away left-footed downfield. It's over the head of Sesko. Poor clearance by the defender though, almost fell kindly for Sesko. Not this time, but United keep it moving. Out to Lacey on the right-hand side. Cunha makes a run for him, tries to cut in field. Well, he's caught in possession by Kadioglu. But it's just noticeable, Alex, how every time Lacey gets on the ball, the crowd are absolutely fully invested in the game.
Well, we said it before the game, didn't we, about the impact young players can have who've come through the system. And I'm sure every supporter in the ground saw his impact the other night at Burnley, so they want to get behind him, and they want to. He looks like he's having a go. He gives a little bit of enthusiasm, which I have to say in this second half we haven't seen from a lot of the other Manchester United players.
No, it has been a little bit too flat at times. Brighton 2-0 up. Now Dorgu is down here. Will Brighton play on, or will they put the ball out of play? They're going to carry on, and there's a shot on goal from long range, which is well off target by Kadioglu. Dorgu is now back to his feet. Don't know if he just took a stray arm in the face there or something. He seems to be holding his nose. Van Heck is now, well, I was about to say he is coming on. He's putting his coat back on, so he's not coming on yet. Not unless he's cold and he wants to bring his coat with him. Not sure that's allowed in the rules.
Fabian Herzler's just talking to his coaching staff, so they might have just made a change in terms of what they were going to do. They might have changed their mind on something. But they're in deep discussion at the moment. They've got the tactics board out. They're looking at ways in which they can probably shore up this.
Well, they know they're result. 17 minutes away from a famous FA Cup win, but they're not there yet. United coming forward. Fernandes with the cross, headed up by Brighton. There's a overhead kick by Dorgu into the turf and into the hands of Steele.
Certainly athletic, that, wasn't it? The way they execute. Oh, he's got a bloody nose. He's obviously took a whack there. He needs to get that sorted, because if the referee sees it, with the protocols the way they are now, he'll be made to go to the side of the pitch and get cleaned up.
Yeah, he's going to have to leave the field with that bloody nose, but nobody's spotted it yet. The referee is completely unaware, and so he's still on the pitch, Patrick Dorgu, and Manchester United still have the ball in the Brighton half, but they're 2-0 down and they're running out of time in the FA Cup. Packed house at Old Trafford under the lights. Martinez in orange boots inside the centre circle. Sideways pass from him into the feet of Yoro. Now Bruno Fernandes. That's a better ball from him down the channel. Xerxes cross from the right hand side and only pick out a Brighton shirt, and they clear it away to the halfway line. Better though.
Better. It's just that execution again. They're getting good areas. It's that final pass. Too easy. Brighton cut it out. Defend the box well. Too often they've hit a Brighton shirt, or they've hit the first man in the front post zone. It's just been a story of the game for Manchester United so far, that last bit of quality.
Well, Gomez has gone down now for Brighton with a bit of cramp, so that's going to get one or two boos from the United supporters. They are now ready in these changes, Brighton, and they have, it looks like, changed their mind, because
a triple substitution. Ayari, Matoma and Van Heck are coming on.
Yeah, I was going to say Matoma is ready to come on as well now, and Ayari, and Van Heck is coming on as well. So all three of them are stripped and ready, and it's just a question of which ones Brighton do, whether they do them all at the same time. I think they're going to. This is the other thing that managers have to factor into their calculations now, is you only have so many windows to make substitutions. So if you can make 2 or 3 at a time, sometimes that's better. He's got certainly time to think about whether he wants to do it now, because we have this break in play with Gomez down receiving treatment on the edge of his own penalty area. Cunha's taking on some fluids as well. So here comes the first Brighton change. And we are going to get Ayari coming on
I'm just looking at other ways United could change things. Their staff now, Fletch, Johnny Evans, are in discussions now. There's possible ways to change it. Do you look at bringing the experience of Casemiro on? Do you look at bringing Harry Maguire on for his set piece powers in terms of trying to get a goal back into this game?
I'd be tempted to throw them both on at this stage.
Throw them
what have you
both
got
on.
to lose?
Yeah, and then you've obviously got the young lads. You've got Jack and Tyler. You've got Tyrone Malacia. There's not many options though from an attacking point of view.
Joel Ventman has gone off. Ayari has come on to replace him, and Danny Welbeck, who scored that second goal for Brighton, which may well prove to be the decisive one, is also making way. Matoma on to replace him.
Nice round of applause from the Manchester United supporters for Danny Welbeck as well. I bet there's a lot of people in this ground scratching their heads thinking, how's he not wearing a red shirt? Criminal letting him go, I have to say, all those years ago. I say all those years ago, it wasn't that long ago, but should never have let him go.
Well, Johnny Evans was let go as well. He ended up back here, of course. Just wonder now that Ruven Amorim's gone whether Marcus Rashford might be back here next season. Here comes a cross into the area. Van Heck's first touch since coming on as a substitute is to hook it clear inside his own penalty area, down towards the halfway line. Poor touch from Martinez. He's put that out on the full, and it'll be a throw into Brighton on this.
They must have heard us, Bill.
Right,
there they are,
side.
Casemiro and Harry coming on. I think it's the only change they can make, really. Try and get a bit of experience, a bit of leadership into the to enter the fray.
And they're big and they're strong and they're good at set pieces as well.
So Ugarte coming off for Casemiro and Martinez coming off for Maguire.
So it's a central midfielder for a central midfielder and a centre-back for a centre-back, but it's experience and it's physicality, and it's certainly a threat from set pieces as well. And with Maguire on the pitch, if United could get a goal and they end up going for a late equaliser, well, Fabian Hurtzler's
got a book in there because he keeps walking into Manchester United's technical area. Fourth officials obviously grassed him up.
I was going to say, the referee was pointing where he wanted him to go, but it wasn't where he wanted him to go, it was where he said he shouldn't have been going. The rain is coming down now at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Brighton 2, with 12 minutes left to play in the FA Cup. Is there any way back for Darren Fletcher's Reds? Maguire and Casemiro on, but Brighton in possession on the halfway line. Rutter, little touch around a corner, sliding challenge by Hinshelwood, wins the ball back from Xerxes, but he's given away a free kick, caught the United man, taken quickly by Casemiro. Bruno Fernandes able to carry the ball forward about 10 yards. He was looking up, you know, he wanted that early ball through the middle. It wasn't on this time, so he keeps hold of the ball and it goes out to Lacey on the right hand side. Now Bruno back into the feet of Casemiro, round the corner for Lacey, onto the roof of the net. Brilliant left foot effort from the edge of the penalty area right across the keeper and lands on the roof of the net, just a couple of feet lower from Shea Lacey, and it would have been his first Manchester United goal.
Good little bit of play from Shea Lacey again, the way he worked it. He played a little give and go with Casemiro, plays it into him, gets the set, and he tries to bend it in the top left hand corner from the corner of the 18-yard box. Just didn't quite get the execution right, but you could see the thought was there. Good little bit of play from the young lad.
£16 million Arsenal paid Manchester United for Danny Welbeck in 2014.
Wow.
It's not enough, is it?
No.
Not when you think what he's gone on and achieved since. Here's Dorgu for United. They need a goal now from anyone.
Certainly is an option, Bill. You'd probably still say he could do a job for Manchester United now when you look at the attacking options that they've got.
Bruno to Xerxes, first touch from him. Sesko, right foot shot, right into the arms of the keeper again, edge of the area, took it first time. Benjamin Sesko just hooked it round the corner effectively, but Steele makes what in the end is a relatively good save. Comfortable,
very comfortable, yeah, straight down the middle.
Come on, United, what can you conjure up, say the Old Trafford crowd. Here's Cunha, edge of the penalty area. They're certainly committing bodies forward, looking for a goal here. They have to. They're on their way out of the FA Cup if they don't find two. Casemiro, first time forward. Dalot can't drag it out the sky. Makes a mess of it. It's behind for a goal kick. Kind of sums up the way the game has gone. It has just been frustratingly not quite good enough.
They've been poor second half, Bill. There's no way of saying anything else, because they haven't tested Jason Steele anywhere near enough. They haven't really given the crowd anything to get behind and see anything to get them excited. It's been huff and puff. It's been poor, you have to say. And whoever the next manager is, I'm sure they're looking at this and thinking, by God, I've got a lot of work to do.
Well, whoever comes in, whether it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Michael Carrick, until the end of the season, and whoever comes in on a permanent basis has got a huge job on their hands. We know that. It's going to take time and patience from fans and the board as well.
Be interesting to see if they dive into the transfer market as well, Bill, in the last couple of weeks of the window being open. This group of players, it might give them a little lift if they go and sign someone, if there's anyone out there who can inject a bit of something into the team.
Well, they spent big money in the summer on the likes of Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha, Benjamin Sesko as well. They improved that forward line. I think that might have been one of the areas that was up for discussion between Jason Wilcox and Ruben Amorim of, is there any more money to spend in January? Going to see another Brighton change here with 7.5 minutes left. Jorginho Rutter is being replaced. And it's going to be Kostoulis on to replace him for the closing stages. But if there is no money to spend and United have to make do with what they've got to find a style of play that works. And there has to be patience with the manager from the board and the fans, but also there has to be some realisation from the players and from the coach that they've got a duty to entertain and to win some games. Both are expected when you're Manchester United.
Of course they are, especially at this club, especially this football club. We've seen it, and if they don't, there's always going to be questions. There's always a story around the corner with Manchester United, and when they're not performing and they're getting beaten, like what you say, they've got the Champions League spots to play for now. That's going to have to be the sole purpose for the remainder of this season. Try and get in them Champions League spots. But when you're out the FA Cup, and it's a tough one.
It is, but the chances of making the top four are still very much, well, the top five it probably will be because of the way the coefficient works. United are currently 7th in the table, but they're only 2 points behind Brentford, who sit in 5th at the moment. They are right in the hunt. A European place would be progress from last year's 15th place finish. Champions League football would be...
They need a goal here, Bill. Set play. Can Harry go and produce?
5 minutes. It's now or never, I think, for Manchester United. Here comes the corner kick towards the back post. There is the header. It's in.
Wow.
Manchester United have their goal, and it is Harry Maguire. Up next to Benjamin Sesko at the far post. I'm not sure which one of them got the touch. They're high-fiving each other, but United are right back in the game here. They have a goal that has reduced the deficit at Old Trafford in front of the Stretford end. Bruno Fernandes corner right up to the far post. It's Sesko with the header, and it's Manchester United who are back in the FA Cup and maybe, just maybe, have a chance of staying in the competition. United 1, Brighton 2.
Yeah, it's Sesko who just got the nod just in front of Harry Maguire. It was a floated delivery to the back post from Bruno. They needed a goal. I said it in the build-up to the corner being taken. We're on 85 minutes. It's given the whole place a lift. Can they go and get an equaliser?
Suddenly the belief is back in Old Trafford. United pouring forward looking for an equaliser. Brighton have won the ball back on the halfway line. How are their nerves now, having seen their 2-goal lead halved? That's got to be offside, and you can bet that Kostoulis knew he was offside and still put the ball in the net because he wanted to eat up as many seconds as possible. Brighton, from a position of absolute comfort, are going to be tested here. What can Manchester United conjure up? 4 minutes plus stoppage time to play at Old Trafford. You're listening to BBC Radio Manchester FA Cup commentary, and it's Bruno Fernandes with an early one through the middle for Xerxes. Drags it down, tries to pick out Sesko, the pass goes astray. Disappointment that for Manchester United. Now Matoma on the turn, has got Brighton on the front foot. Can't pick out a teammate though. United have it back. Here's Lacey. Cuts inside his man. Just overran the ball. Brighton have won it back. And worse than that, Lacey has left the foot in. It's a foul. It's a free kick to Brighton. And it's a yellow card for Shea Lacey as well.
Yeah, it's a definite yellow card. He's just took a heavy touch, overran it, and
yeah, it's not great.
No, it's not great, but it's a yellow card.
Not a great challenge. He was never getting that ball, but also I think don't make that challenge, because you give the Brighton player the opportunity to make a meal of it, and it eats up more of the seconds that United so desperately need. Brighton leading 2-1, but United with the possession with Bruno Fernandes. Through the middle it goes to Cunha, slides it through to Sesko. He's into the area, but the defender steps across, Hinshelwood, and takes the ball away to safety. Everyone to our left was up on their feet in expectation as Sesko was about to pull the trigger. Good defending by Hinshelwood, who did just enough to get it away. Hanging on now, Brighton.
You just feel like there's a chance around the corner, Bill, don't you? But it's Brighton on the attack here now.
Well, there's going to be counters on because United are committing so many bodies forward. The question is, will Brighton try and get this in the area, or will they head for the corner? Poor challenge again. Cunha dives in when he doesn't need to. Catches Kostoulis, and that's a free kick to Brighton.
It's good play from Kostoulis. He's bought the foul.
He was going nowhere, though.
You don't need to make that challenge. They've done it too often, Bill. They've given needless fouls away, and silly really, because it gives Brighton a chance to slow the game down, put it in United's box. It wouldn't surprise me if they play it short and try and run it into the corner here, you know.
Well, there's less than 2 minutes of the 90 remaining in the rain. Manchester United 1, Brighton 2, and they are going to head for the corner here. No attempt to put the ball in the box at all. Instead, Gruder, who's been their best player, takes it down towards the corner flag. United have won it back, and they're going to try and play their way out of danger here. Crossfield ball looking for Lacey. He's up against the fullback, Kadioglu.
Oh, Shea.
Well, now Lacey needs to be careful here. He's already been booked.
Yeah,
he's just bounced the ball in frustration, and he's going to be off here. Second yellow.
Come on.
Makes red. And in the 89th minute at Old Trafford, Shea Lacey, the academy graduate, has been sent off, with Manchester United needing a goal to keep them in the FA Cup. They're going to have to do it down to 10 men. Lacey hides his head in his shirt. There's going to be a few tears there, I think. Frustration got the better of him. He went arm to arm with Kadioglu, who hit the deck, and then in his frustration just bounced the ball into the turf. It's nothing that bad, but when you're already on a yellow card, you're running the risk, and referee Simon Hooper has not given him any leeway. He's shown the second yellow. That means a red card, and Shea Lacey is sent off.
Ridiculous, really. He'll have to learn from that. He's a young, inexperienced player. When you've been booked, you can't grab the ball and bounce it in that way. To the letter of the law, the referee's probably done the right thing in terms of sending him off. Could he have showed a little bit of leniency, though, Bill? But you have to ask that question, taking into consideration the age of him. Did he need to send him off? I'm not so sure.
Well, the referee has made his decision. United are down to 10. We're into 5 minutes of stoppage time. Manchester United 1, Brighton 2. So United have 5 minutes to keep alive their FA Cup campaign, having gone out of the Carabao Cup at the first stage to Grimsby, having not even qualified for European football this season. The FA Cup is what they have. Dorgu's cross from the left is into the hands of Steele. Bowls it out to Matoma. Well, Brighton want to make a substitution here. Fabian Herzler is urging all his players to get forward. He knows they need to eat up a few more of these seconds. They're not home yet. They are going to make another change here. Gruder, who has been their best player, who scored the opening goal of the game, is going to make way, and it's going to be Watson on to replace him. So Tom Watson on, Brian Gruder off. 4 minutes of stoppage time left to play at Old Trafford. Still 2-1 Brighton lead. They have a throw-in just in front of the dugouts on this right-hand side. Darren Fletcher down there gesticulating to his players, pointing where he wants them to be. I think he's trying to tell Dallow that he needs to get out onto that right-hand side. Xerxes looks confused by the instructions. Brighton play on with a throw-in down this left-hand side. Real wrestling match between Harry Maguire and Kostoulis, and Maguire actually pushed him off the pitch then, and then wrestles the ball off him as well.
He's going to book Harry now as well.
Well, frustration is getting the better of everyone here. Kostoulis is making a nuisance of himself, but Manchester United's players have lost their cool. Maguire booked. Lacey sent off for 2 yellow cards. Bruno Fernandes has it, but he's right on the edge of his own penalty area. United need to get the ball downfield. 3 minutes stoppage time remains. Poor pass from Bruno. That might end up with Pascal Gross. Casemiro does really well to step in and intercept it. Now Cunha wants to go wide right. Tries to play it low. Intercepted.
Story of the game. Story of the game. Picking the wrong option. Not getting the pass right. Can they get one more chance, United? There's a couple of minutes left. They're on the attack here now with Bruno in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, here's Maguire. Everyone in Manchester United red in the Brighton half. Dorgu taking on his man, cuts inside him, onto his right foot, trying to get it back onto his left. There's no option for him. It's being forced wide all the time. He's twisting and turning, still going, needs to get it in the mixer. Now Maguire, back to Dorgu. Where's the delivery? Low cross in, deflects. Xerxes keeps hold of it. Now Maguire, he needs to be in the box, not out on the left wing. It's gone out for a throw-in. We are very close to the last chance saloon.
Has anyone got a long throw? They've thrown it short to Dorgu. Oh, he's got to get the pass right.
Well, Bruno it was who took the throw in. I think Dorgu should be winding one up here and launching it into the box. You've got Maguire, you've got Xerxes, you've got Sesko all in there. It needs to go into the box. Less than 90 seconds left to play. Brighton lead 2-1. There's the cross onto the chest of Sesko. Can't drag it down. Cunha's caught in possession. Manchester United win it back. Brighton try and clear their lines. Sesko is battling for everything, and now Matoma will have the opportunity to run it away, I think, for Brighton. It's out for a throw-in for them on the near side. Red seats are starting to appear in the Sir Alex Ferguson stand opposite us as some United fans make for the exits. Not everyone believes there is a late equaliser to come here.
United have got a free kick on the halfway line. They've got to put everyone forward and just put it in the 18-yard box. Let it get set, Bruno. In it comes.
Here's Bruno's delivery up to the edge of the penalty area. Maguire with the header. It's right into the hands of Steele, who has made several routine saves, it has to be said. Nothing too testing for him. And everything that's been thrown at him he has dealt with. Maguire did win the header. He went for goal. The angle was maybe against him. Brighton will surely head for the corner with this now. 10 seconds of the 5 minutes added on left to play. Manchester United 1, Brighton 2, and there is the full-time whistle. Boos ring out around Old Trafford as Simon Hooper brings the game to an end. Brighton beat Manchester United in the FA Cup for the first time after losing all of their previous meetings. For Manchester United, exit from a second domestic cup competition at the first time of asking, and now their new manager will inherit a team out of the FA Cup and with only Premier League points and European qualification left to play for. For Brighton, it's a famous win. For Manchester United, it's another damaging afternoon. It's finished. Manchester United 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2.
Alex, that is hugely disappointing for any side to go out at this stage of the FA Cup, particularly a massive club like Manchester United. But you have to say, with what's been going on this week and just the general feel amongst the fans of almost feeling like back at square one. We've got to go through all that again, getting a new manager in. This could have really given them a much needed boost, couldn't it? And arguably done the opposite now.
Yeah, it's been a terribly disappointing day from a Manchester United point of view. They didn't do enough in the second half. They huffed and puffed a little bit towards the end when they pulled one goal back. You thought, can they do it? I think the sending off of Lacey, the young kid, when he comes on for bouncing the ball over the far side, kind of killed any real chance of getting back in the game. But yeah, a really difficult afternoon for everyone involved. It's very evident for everybody to see that whoever the next manager is, and however long he's going to be in place, he's got a big job on. He really has. There's no getting away from that. The quality of player needs to improve, and it's interesting times here at Old Trafford.
It wasn't for lack of effort, was it? And I know that criticism often is levelled at players when fans are unhappy with performances. You'll get comments like they didn't want it enough, they didn't fight hard enough. It didn't look, from my vantage point here, obviously on the screen, but you're there live, didn't look like a lack of effort. It didn't click. There's lots of changes. Players coming in who've been out for a while, players missing, of course, at the AFCON who are not back yet. There's a lot of context behind that performance as well to factor in, although it won't be any consolation to fans, of course.
No, absolutely not. And I think Ahmad and Buemo coming back from the AFCON will give them a little bit of a lift. Obviously, a new manager coming in, you'd like to think a new manager lift would happen as well. It's just a frustrating one. And when you look at Danny Welbeck, for example, playing for Brighton, when Danny was here at Old Trafford, he was one of 3 or 4 strikers that they had at the time who had supreme quality. And you've seen it for the goal that he took. And he was let go from United 5 or 6, however many years ago it was now.
Well, arguably that was an example of the kind of clinical finish that was missing.
And that's what that's what I was getting at. That's exactly what Manchester United are missing, and that bit of quality up the top end of the pitch. And they've tried to find it with Hoylands and Sesco's and people like that, what they've paid astronomical amounts of money for. They just, as I said before, the new manager coming in, recruitment needs to be better as well.
Let's just mention a couple of individuals then. Mainu back in, that is a positive. He got was it an hour he got under his belt or thereabouts. So positives in that sense. Let's look at his performance and him being back in the side.
He did okay. He did just okay. He had some nice touches. Did he have a big impact on the game? Not really. He was neat and tidy at times. And you have to remember, he's not played in a long time. It was his first start, like we touched on earlier, since he played in the League Cup against Grimsby. It's a hell of a long time to not play 90 minutes. So it was a big call, putting him straight in the team. He did just okay.
Any players who, I'm looking for the positives here, really trying to find some, although I appreciate it's not always possible, but any individual performances we could look at? Mainu obviously not setting the world alight, but good to see him at least getting some minutes. Anybody though who can offer a little bit of positivity based on their performance today?
I have to be honest, no, not today. I don't think it was anywhere near the standard that Manchester United should be setting. I don't think anyone really played well. There was a few performances where people just did okay, but on the whole I don't think anyone really stood out of having an outstanding performance. I think Casemiro and Harry Maguire coming onto the pitch, their experience helped them a little bit. But apart from that, I'm really scraping the barrel to try and find too many positives.
Well, let's say good evening to Sufyan in Bolton, who joins us. Thanks for being with us. Manchester United sides previously, when they've been winning everything, have included the FA Cup, but even the last few seasons when things have been really difficult, they have had some incredible moments, like the win against Liverpool, of course. I was there with us, with Radio Manchester, presenting that day. It was phenomenal. So they can pull those performances out of the bag in cup games. Today though, Sufyan, it just didn't happen, did it? And there was that little bit of hope at the end where you thought, here we go, it might be happening, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, and it was too little too late. I think just over the course of the 90 minutes, Brighton didn't really look like they were in danger. They had a clear game plan. They seemed like they knew how to get through us. And we created some chances in that first half, and maybe less so in the second half. We just didn't take them. And we didn't defend for their goals with any instinct, I think. And that was quite concerning for me, because for their first goal, they had, I think, 7 United players in the box. And where's the instinct? I mean, surely as a professional footballer, you'd think there's a man marked, let me go and man mark him, or close that space down. But just overall, it wasn't good enough. And any hopes of any kind of trophy for this season is completely gone now, isn't it?
And that's the thing it's a real sickener for Alex, isn't it? That you've, at least if you're still in a cup competition, it doesn't even really matter which one. And United have been at this stage, obviously, in previous seasons. It gives you that little bit of hope, doesn't it? Something to hope for, even if things are dire in the league, for example. Yeah, and listen, the supporters would have been coming to the game today thinking, right, let's go and have a good run, let's beat Brighton and kick on. New manager coming in, let's go and try and really get in them Champions League places and have a good run in the FA Cup. That's what everyone would have thought about before the game, but it's just turned into one of them horrible days, and you look at it now and think the only thing United have really got to play for is trying to get in them Champions League spots, and that's going to be the sole focus now. Sofian, what are your thoughts on, obviously we know we're expecting some sort of announcement tomorrow, what do you hope for at this immediate stage and sort of long term, looking ahead to the summer at least?
Well, I think in terms of how we can finish our season and try and salvage anything, I don't think we're in the worst position to push on and try and secure at least European football. Champions League football is the aim. Now there's a bit of daylight between now and the City fixture, so I hope they do announce the interim caretaker role. Looks like it's going to be Ole. I hope that gets done, and I just hope there's a little bit more stability that we can have, and hopefully finish this season on a somewhat positive note, by getting into the Champions League, or at least finishing in that top 6 and getting the Europa League.
What do you think Ole could offer right now, Sofian, that has been missing or is missing, or that's much needed at this time? Obviously all different names have been mentioned. We don't know if it's going to be Ole, but if it is him, would you feel comfortable with that? Would you feel maybe a mini sigh of relief that what is it that he could bring that could make you feel a little better, let's say, at this point?
So I think in his first run at the club after Mourinho got sacked, he did really well to put that belief back into the fans. The football was a bit more exciting. If you like, Manchester United way, very attacking, very free-flowing, and very positive. He used to make some good substitutions. We can't say that for Amorim in the way he's, kind of always swapped like for like. Even today, Fletcher, I thought he made some good substitutions. It's just a shame that we conceded so soon after he made those changes. But I just think Ole, if it is him, it looks like it will be him. I think he would just put that feel-good factor back into the club, have everything feeling good, and hopefully leave us in a good enough place for this permanent manager to then come on and kick on from that. So he's really good at that. I don't think he should if he does well, he should get the permanent job like he did last time. But I think for the interim, if it is Ole, then I think those are the things that he can do.
Thank you, Sofian. I'm going to give Alex and Bill a chance to respond to that. So a couple of points there. Substitutions. He's praising the ones that were made today as opposed to ones that Amorim he didn't feel were efficient, and in terms of what Ole can bring at this time.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? They were chasing the game. He was positive with his substitutions, brought on Xerxes, obviously the experience of Casemiro and Harry Maguire. They had an impact in terms of Maguire was a handful in the box just before Sesko scored his goal. Shea Lacey was dangerous when he came on, was throwing himself about. Obviously his enthusiasm got the better of him in the end, and he picked up 2 yellow cards in quick succession. So now you look at it and you think he was a bit too trying a bit too hard maybe, but it was a good substitution at the time. It was positive, but you're only making those positive subs because you're losing at home to Brighton in the FA Cup, and you've got to. So I think there's a much bigger problem for Manchester United, which is they've got to stop conceding such soft goals.
They really have. I think defensively they weren't great today. I know Martinez has been out for a long time, and he looks like it at the moment. He looks like he's lacking match fitness, match sharpness. Some of his defending's not great. You could see his frustration when he got subbed off. He booted a bottle. It was a tough watch, wasn't it? Second half, it wasn't great. We talk about Fletcher's substitutions. Yes, he made the right calls, but when you look at the bench, Harry Maguire, Xerxes, Casemiro and Shea Lacey, the players that came on, he didn't really have anything else apart from obviously his two sons, young players who Aiden Heaven, Tyrell Malacia, who's not had much football. So I think obviously with Mbeumo and Ahmad coming back, it'll give them a little bit more in terms of options, whether they start or off the bench from an attacking point of view. But yeah, it was just a frustrating day all round.
Let's say hello to Lauren now in Stockport. Hi Lauren, good evening. Your thoughts first on the performance from today, taking away from the fact that disappointment, that obviously out of the FA Cup now and everything that's happened this week, just the performance itself, how would you describe it?
I think the performance, it was hard to watch. I think my biggest problem was players that the first touch of pretty much all the players was horrendous at times. Like, there was points where we were going forward, and the attacking players, their first touch was horrendous. And that's where we fell down today, I think. Not on a whole, but I think that was one of the reasons we struggled to actually, end it and actually finish the ball, because there were so many players that could not make the right first touch, and we were losing the ball constantly. And the thing is with Brighton, they are a very, very good team. And as soon as you lose, you put that ball out slightly too far, they're on you. They're not a team that sits back. And I think that was a massive problem for us today. I think the thing is as well, I think I will say that the first goal, Brighton's goal, first goal was not unlucky because the defence was horrendous at this, for it to happen. But we did clear it off the line. But when you clear it off the line, you don't know where that's going to go. You just have to hit it. And I think that as soon as that goal went in, we have no clue what to do.
Alex, players don't become poor technically and skill-wise, do they, sort of overnight or over a short period of time? What can that be down to? Is it just that on a day it doesn't click? Could it be lack of confidence with some? Could it be pressure? Could it be getting used to, there's that much going on in your mind sometimes about a new formation that you forget the basics and the process of, there's lots of factors. What would it be down to today, if indeed you do agree that things like first touch were poor?
I just think the quality I just think the quality shown by the players wasn't there. I think the final pass, the decision making at times wasn't great, and that can be down to a number of reasons. Having a lack of quality, confidence, match fitness, match sharpness. There can be an accumulation of a lot of things as to why you see it, and the big one is on the day they just don't play well, and I think that was the case for too many Manchester United players today. There was a lot of sloppy performances.
It does seem they're trying to play the ball forward earlier and quicker though, Alex, and there were quite a number of occasions today where they're zipping balls in towards the front three and they weren't controlling them well, and I think they're just not used to it. They're not used to playing this kind of football.
Well, we spoke about it, Bill, during the game, didn't we, about changing a style of play midway through a season, and when Fletcher's in and he's obviously tried to change it a little bit from the way Amarin set his teams up and what have you. It takes time. It takes time to adapt. You need hours on the training pitch, which you don't get at this stage of the season, especially when the games come the way they are over the Christmas period and December leading into January. You play so many games. But whoever the new manager is now, he's got to try and set a philosophy, set a style, and there needs to be some kind of bounce.
Yeah, I think the problem with United is that we're too scared now to lose because they know they're under so much pressure. They're all trying slightly too hard. So they're all going for it, and it's not working. They need to actually settle down a bit and go, we're United, we know how to play football. Even Cunha, tonight he wasn't great, and we know how good Cunha can be. But even he was not finding the places, or he was not going into the places that he usually can find, especially when he was at Wolves. He would make goals, but he's not doing it at United.
I think one of the most damning things for me, Stacey, is, I've watched a lot of Manchester United here over the years. I've seen a lot of away teams come here and win here with different tactics, some on the counter, some on the front foot, some with physicality. It's very rare teams used to outplay Manchester United here. And I would say over the course of today's game, Brighton were the better footballing team. They play better football than Manchester United. Now, I know Brighton are a big success story in terms of what they've achieved with the resources they have, the way they set things up. But teams coming here and playing Manchester United and playing better football, that's near unforgivable.
And they did. They showed more quality at times. I think, in particular, Gruder and Welbeck were the two outstanding players on the pitch for me. Just showed that little bit of quality, and on the day, that was the difference.
I hope we could swap the shirts when Welbeck came off. We could just put a United shirt on and come back on for us.
Well, I said it in commentary. It was a ridiculous decision letting him leave.
Yeah, there's certainly ruined that one. Lauren, looking ahead now then to the remainder of this season, regardless of who's going to be in charge, what that situation is, and not even in terms of, obviously there's no cup opportunities now. We know where you want to finish in the league, but what do you want from the players, from the club, sort of for the rest of this season? What do you want to see? What do you want to, feel in terms of having some hope going forward? What would that look like?
Originally, I was saying, bring the manager in right now, who we want full time. Bring him in now. Let him set himself in, and then he can have his summer window, all that. But now, I have changed my opinion and think, bring Ollie in. I'll never forget. Ollie is interim. I'll never forget standing in the ground and going, oh my God, I finally enjoyed the football that United are playing under Ollie. So I think bring him in till the end of the season, just give us something to, enjoy, because we're not enjoying it currently. Bring us football that we enjoy watching, and then at the end of the season we look at who we want. I know these different, talks of everyone. I think Glasner was a talk. After yesterday, absolutely not. He's a no from me. If you're losing to Matt Town and making history in the FA Cup, that's a no from me. So I think we need to, I genuinely think, bring Ollie in for the rest of the season, and then we look from there.
It's going to be, thank you very much, Lauren, appreciate it. And Alex, you mentioned before briefly when we were talking about what's next, I think you and Bill were discussing it in commentary, what feels like a massive task ahead for whomever comes in, because it doesn't feel like anything's necessarily been brought forward, does it, in Amarim's time, like they've made massive steps forward and somebody can then take that on. It feels in some ways like some things have even gone backwards or are more difficult, or at least are at square one. Then you throw in the fact of the upcoming fixtures. The derby next Saturday, Arsenal away the following Sunday. This is going to be a really tough couple of games for whomever comes in, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we spoke about it in the commentary, like you say, Stace. There, it's a really tough time to come in as an interim boss when you've got Arsenal and Man City coming up, the two probably outstanding teams in the division at the moment. However, it's also an opportunity where Manchester United, the players, can just play with the shackles off, because the way that they played today, the way things have been, does anybody realistically expect United to go and get the 3 points against that calibre of team at the moment? Probably not. So they can just play with a freedom and just really go out and try and express themselves. And it wouldn't surprise me if they do that. They relax and play with the shackles off, with a freedom. They'll be better for it. I think the problem for United is when they're playing the likes of the Brightons at home and the Wolves, games which they're expected to win comfortably, that's been the struggle. They've probably been better against the better teams because the pressure hasn't been as great, and they need to handle that better.
The other issues that United have now got coming, Alex, no more cup games. It's only Premier League now till the end of the season. So suddenly you've got this squad of players. Half of them are probably not going to play very much the rest of the season, so they're not going to be particularly happy around the place now. And if you have got a caretaker till the end of the season, it can go one or two ways. you have the bounce like you got with Ollie last time, where suddenly their shackles are off, everyone's positive, and you go on a good run of results. The flip is the Ralph Rangnick situation, where everyone knows he's not going to be here beyond the end of the season, and the rest of this campaign just peters out into nothingness.
Absolutely, and that's going to be the biggest question, which we'll have to wait and see how it develops, Bill. But it'll be interesting to see, and I have to say it's going to be interesting to see who they appoint. I mean, whether it's Ollie or whether it's Michael, we'll have to wait and see. But it's a difficult job for whoever comes in.
What's the difference between the two, do you think? Because they're both former players, both been on the coaching staff here. Is there a difference which one they go for?
Listen, they've both obviously got different styles. They're both different people. I think it's a difficult one for Ollie, I have to say, in terms of coming back after he's been here, after he's done it before. If he does get the job, everyone's going to expect him to have the same impact as what he had last time. And the big question for me is, was the squad better when he took over last time and he had this situation than what they currently are now? Were they in a better place back then? Because when you watch the performance today and the way the players are, it's going to be difficult to get them firing.
And I think that's a great point, Alex, because I've heard lots of people, whether it's obviously callers on radio or people just talking in general, saying, oh, but they're in a much better place now. Ollie's coming in with a much better team.
No, I don't agree.
I disagree.
Today, that's a really difficult thing to back up, but I've heard lots of people saying it, and whether that's just them being hopeful or, because there's obviously new signings that have done reasonably well. I don't know. They're obviously looking for something, but obviously from what you've just said, you probably disagree. But my question was, either of you, do you agree with that?
Do you want to go first?
I think the squad was better when he took over last time, when he had the impact that he did. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head the kind of players that were at his disposal. I know we had obviously Marcus Rashford straight away.
Yeah, so they had Rashford, Martial, obviously Greenwood, Jesse Lingard, Paul Pogba who'd come back for a world record fee. He was, Ander Herrera was in midfield. You had De Gea in goal. I think personally they were stronger then than they are now.
Absolutely.
And
you reel them players off.
I also think it was a toxic atmosphere in the last few months under Jose Mourinho. So when Solskjaer came in, he immediately, the spirit around the place just lifted. Now, I'm not trying to take any credit away from him. The job he did was fantastic, but it will be very different this time round. I don't think he can just walk in and suddenly there'll be a bounce in everyone's step and they'll win 11 games in a row or whatever. So it is a test. Whether it's him, whether it's Michael Carrick, whoever comes in, this is a huge, huge job. And even for 6 months, if that's all it is, it's a difficult job. It really is.
It certainly is indeed. We're going to hear from one of the United players from today. It's Diogo Dalot, who's been speaking to the BBC's Ailey Barber.
Clearly not the result you were looking for here this afternoon. Can you just sum up what you think went wrong for Manchester United today?
I think we created enough to win the game, to be honest. Obviously, when we were in the ball, especially first half, we had good moments where we could break the lines and break their press. But obviously, without the ball, we still a little bit lost sometimes because we had to go man-to-man from the back, and we're not quite used to it during this season. So took us a little bit some place to organize, especially when they could break our first press, and then mid-block they could find spaces. But overall, I think we did enough to win the game. We created a little bit of momentum in the end. And obviously then the red card gave us a little bit of disadvantage because we were on top of Brighton in those last minutes. But even though we could have scored again, but overall really disappointed because we wanted to go through.
If we go back to the very start of the game, you had that opportunity very, very early on. I mean, what was going through your head when you did break through on the goal?
I mean, just trying to score. To be honest, I could have done better, could have scored a goal. I put enough pressure on myself during those moments because I wanted to score really bad. But maybe a little bit more composure would have helped and could put us in the lead. But again, I kept trying. All the lads kept trying to find spaces. We created enough to score more goals. But like I said, really disappointed because I think we should have deserved to win.
What have the last couple of weeks been like for the players here at Manchester United with the change in manager and obviously Darren Fletcher coming in on the interim basis?
Really difficult. It's always a period that you have to find ways to solve the problems really quick. We have to adapt and go again.
I mean, Alex, I'm just going to give you the space to sort of respond as you wish to any of the points that Dalot made there. What do you make of what he had to say?
What do I make of what he had to say? I think he's talking nonsense in terms of creating the opportunities to win the game. I didn't think they created anywhere near enough. I think for a Manchester United team here at Old Trafford, especially in the second half, there was nowhere near enough efforts at goal. Making Jason Steele work. I thought the lack of quality on the top of at the top of the pitch was evident for everybody to see, and the difference between the two teams, like I said earlier, was Gruder and Welbeck, who had that bit of quality up the top end of the pitch for Brighton. It's as simple as that, and I think the first goal, when you get a first goal in a game, is massive. Diogo had a wonderful opportunity in the first couple of minutes to score. He was a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. If he took that, I'm sure it would have been a different game. However, he didn't. And after that, they just huffed and puffed, really. And I think on the whole, it was just a really poor performance, I have to say. And I think the better team won on the day, for me.
There's a couple of tweets referring to a variety of things here. Jim says, ref just needs a bit of sense. Just tell the young lad that next time it's another card. That, of course, in reference to Shea Lacey, who, for a second yellow, got a little bit frustrated on the sideline, bounced the ball, and you could tell just he couldn't believe that he'd been sent off for that. He was absolutely gutted. You could see that much, and I think you said in commentary, perhaps take into account his age, his inexperience, but either way, the decision is what it is, and a steep, difficult learning curve, that one for the youngster.
The letter of the law, the referee made the right decision. You can't the tackle, what he went into when he overran the ball. He's caught the kid, and it was a blatant yellow card. But then to go and bounce the ball a couple of minutes later was a bit stupid of him, a bit naive, inexperienced, really. And I'm sure Fletcher and the coaching staff will say you've got to learn from that, and he has. He's a young kid. However, the referee, I know you go into the letter of the law, but the referee can show a little bit of common sense as well. Did he need to send him off?
It would have been nice if he'd said, just calm down. No more of that. If you do it again, I'm going to have to send you off. Give him.
Exactly.
But we know why they don't, because he does that, and then someone else says, "Well, I didn't get that leniency. It's not fair, whatever." Yeah. I think it's interesting because Darren Fletcher was asked about the academy. Well, we played a bit of it earlier, didn't he? And he said young players, they will make mistakes. Well, I hope he says that to Shea Lacey tonight. I hope he says to him, if this really hurts tonight,
don't do it.
Learn from it, because basically,
will, Bill, as well. I mean, you could see a couple of the players just giving him a tap on the head as he went off in a way to say, "Unlucky lad," But I think.
But he did look crestfallen, didn't he? And it will hurt. But sometimes you have to have them painful lessons because you learn from them, and that's why you don't make that mistake again, and you come back a stronger player.
You do. We've just been talking about whether, let's say, if Ollie does take over in this discussion this week, where people have had different viewpoints on whether he has a better side now, should he come in, than he had. So I was just looking for his last 11 and I couldn't find the complete squad, but thankfully Kieran and Theo have helped us out. So here's the last 11, and then we know exactly what we're talking about that he fielded before he finished. So De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw, McTominay, Matic, Sancho, Fernandes, Rashford, Ronaldo.
Well, it's a better starting 11 than the one I've seen today, I think, in my opinion. I think when Ollie first went in, it was a totally different looking team as well to that one, of the last one he had. But listen, we can talk about it, we can say this, that and the other. I think whoever comes in here knows it's going to be a really difficult job. However, they just need to try and breed a little bit of confidence into the team. They need to try and lift the shadows, as it were, and just try and have an impact in terms of creating a togetherness to try and get in them Champions League spots. And if the interim manager can come in and get this squad into the Champions League, it will be huge for this football club.
Well, let's just rewind it on that, Alex. At the start of the season, if I'd said to you Manchester United will qualify for the Champions League, you'd have said that was overachieving, wouldn't you, at the start of the season?
Yeah, I would have. I do think it's a poor Premier League this year, though, Bill. I think for how Manchester United haven't been great, they're still in a position of getting in the Champions League spots, which says a lot about the Premier League currently this season.
There's an opportunity.
There's an opportunity for a lot of teams. When you look at Newcastle, United, Chelsea, Fulham, even Brentford, they're all up there. They're all in the mix to try and get in them spots, and it's still very tight.
A couple more tweets here, Alex and Bill. Michael says, well, there's our season over in January. It's bleak, isn't it? But that is how fans will feel at the minute. I mean, what would if you were speaking to these players now, and if you had a chance to speak to fans, which you can hear, of course, what would you say to them, for those that right now will be feeling, that's it, there's nothing to look forward to, it's just going to be grim and dire and bleak for the rest of the season? What would you say to them? Because there has to be something, doesn't there, to play for, to hope for, to aim towards. What would that be in these circumstances?
Well, to the players, first and foremost, they have a duty to be a Manchester United player. They have a duty to wear the shirt and represent the shirt in the right possible way. And when you play for Manchester United, there's always something to play for because of the expectation of what this football club demands. That'll never change. And if you feel sorry for yourself, it's only going to get worse. They have got something to play for to get into the Champions League places. That will open up a whole different ball game for the club in terms of recruitment in the summer. If you can go and get players and recruit for a Champions League campaign next year. So that is huge, and that should just be the sole focus. And every single game that they play, they need to find something within themselves to play for the shirt, if they want to be a Man United, they have to go and prove it, because new managers coming in, there's always an opportunity to go and stake your claim, and that's what they need to do.
LK says we're in desperate need of a leader. Bruno does it in his performance, but we need someone who speaks, tells the other players when they've done something poorly, and holds them all to account. It's why they get away week after week with this lackadaisical attitude. Lee says not good enough. Don't blame Fletcher, but again, this is the hardest job in sport, and the board are to blame. Incompetence on and off the field. Stop dragging out the process of hiring an interim and pick one. Twiz says, and just like that, Manchester United are out of all competitions in January, in capital letters. Well done, everyone. Great progress. Obviously, a little bit of sarcasm there. And Brett says it was even horrendous performance in the second half. Only positive from today. Sesko has scored in 2 consecutive games. Dismal show again. So a real variety of elements of blame, or who we should blame, who we shouldn't blame, but that general consensus of a real a disappointment, wasn't it? A massive disappointment.
I don't blame Darren Fletcher. I think he's come in and done the best he can in a very short space of time. I don't think anyone should be blaming him for this situation. I blame the players. I think they can perform better than they did today. I don't think they played well. But the real scrutiny should be on the Manchester United board and the people at the top, because it's essentially since the Glazer ownership took charge at Manchester United in 2005 that the rot has set in. Sir Alex Ferguson kept the club successful in spite of the owners rather than because of them, and since his retirement and Sir Alex and David Gill went, it has just been a cavalcade of terrible decisions, bad recruitment, bad management, bad choices, and they're paying the price for that right now. What they need is a long, strong strategy and the cajones to stick to it, and I haven't seen that yet, and that's got to come.
Do you know that when you look at the starting 11 today and you talk about decisions, I just look at and I watch it, and I don't like highlighting individuals, but I just look at decisions that they've made, whether it be the recruitment, the hierarchy, whoever's making these decisions, letting someone like Scott McTominay go and replacing him with Ugarte, letting Højlund go and bringing in Sesko, who's you look at these situations and these things that have happened, and you think, why? Where is the logic behind that? I mean, if it's a significant upgrade straight away, I mean, Højlund, do you know what I mean? It's just bizarre decisions that they just need to get right in the future if the club's going to get better.
Yeah, it's a really disappointing situation. A quick one then. We've got just over a minute and a bit. We're looking forward to the draw tomorrow, of course, at 6:30. Real disappointment for Manchester United not being in that. Could an announcement tomorrow lift them, though, whomever it might be, Alex? Can we see a lift coming from that? Could Ollie, for example, be that lift?
There has to be. You have to look at it positively. Whoever the new manager is coming in, he has to walk in here and breathe a bit of fresh air into the place and try and get a lift out of the players. And that's whoever that is, him and his staff, if he's bringing in people, they need to bring a different energy and need to find some positivity.
And Bill, fans are going to be hoping for that. They'll feel that all they do is support, and for no fault of their own, they've not got a great deal to cheer about again.
Yeah, but you asked us for a message earlier for the players and the fans. The message for the fans is, yeah, it's miserable right now, but you support your football club through thick and through thin. United fans have had so much success, probably more than they ever even dreamed of. It's tough right now. What I will say, football can change quickly, and if someone comes in and gets it right here, they will be an absolute hero.
Stick together.
Absolutely. Well, Bill, Alex, thank you for sticking together and sticking with us. Thank you so much. Alex Bruce with us on BBC Radio Manchester, and Bill Rice bringing you all the commentary today. And that is a wrap on an incredible weekend of FA Cup third round action. Wigan, Manchester City and giant killers Macclesfield have booked their place in the fourth round. We'll find out who they're facing tomorrow in the draw at 6:30. Listen to Talk Sport from 6. Huge disappointment though for the Reds as they exit the FA Cup.
On the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,
Play BBC Radio Manchester.
and on your radio.
The sound of Manchester is
BBC Radio Manchester.
BBC News at 7 o'clock. This is Claire Ronacres. The president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, has pleaded with young people not to join the unrest sweeping his country as the authorities continue their deadly crackdown. He's insisted the government's willing to engage with genuine protesters, but denounced what he called terrorists who he claimed were being incited by Iran's enemies. Rights groups estimate around 200 people have been killed. The exiled son of the former Shah of Iran, who's become a figurehead for the protest movement, says US assistance is needed for regime change. Reza Pahlavi was speaking to Fox News.
People are calling on me to step in and lead this transition. I'm here to lead and help our nation go through that transition. But beyond liberation, we have to have a plan for a stable, smooth transition. We have to ensure stability. We have to be able to protect the citizenry. We have to be able to stabilize the economy. And for that, we have very comprehensive plans.
3 teenagers and a man in his 50s have been killed in a crash in Bolton. A car and a taxi collided just before 1 o'clock this morning, killing both drivers and 2 passengers in the car. President Trump has told Cuba to make a deal with the US before, in his words, it's too late. He made a similar threat to Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro, before he was seized by American troops. Our Global Affairs reporter, Mimi Swaby, has been looking at the response of Cuba's president on X.
Cuba is free, independent and a sovereign nation. No one will tell us what to do, with the hashtag Cuba is courage. He then went on to outline that all these economic hardships that Cuba is currently facing, a power system in deep crisis, many shortages, including food and basic goods, they are directly due to, I quote, the result of the draconian measures of extreme strangulation that the US has imposed on us for 6 decades.
Football and Manchester United have been knocked out of the FA Cup. They were beaten 2-1 by Brighton in their third round match. Meanwhile, Arsenal are through to the fourth round of the competition after beating Portsmouth. Gabriel Martinelli scored a hat-trick as the Gunners came from behind to win 4-1. Afterwards, their manager Mikel Arteta said despite the rocky start, things improved.
We knew it was going to be tough. We started the game exactly in the manner that we didn't want to, giving them hope, momentum and an early goal. So after that we had to fight it back, and we had moments that in the first half that we didn't flow as much as we wanted. But the moment that we started to understand better and be a bit more efficient and the simplicity took over, then the margins become bigger because of the quality that we have.
And the first major ceremony of the Hollywood awards season, the Golden Globes, takes place in Los Angeles tonight. Sinners, Hamnet, It Was Just an Accident and Frankenstein are among the films up for the top prize. The weather, rain should largely clear eastwards to leave a cloudy night for most of the UK with just some blustery showers. Longer spells of rain will linger, though, in northwest Scotland. BBC News, it's 7:03.